Yo, what's up, GG Nation, GG Legion? It's your fella again, Straussman, the GG, and I got some guests today. He has risen once again. This fella that I started this journey with, this podcast with, all the way back to episode 1 and 2. Dan the Man's back. And of course, we got Eric in the background. Say what up, Eric, bro.
What's up?
You've heard his voice various times at Dan the Man's on here. And of course, himself, Night Phase, goes his links and everything down in the description. This is his idea, by the way. We got a special edition of Golden God and Friends podcast. Normally, we're a gaming show, and we talk a lot of movies as well, usually. But this is going to be ranking the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you guys don't know, Dan.
I don't know.
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I've never seen a one.
Worst to best. So all 18 movies that are concurrent, not the ones in the future. I went to the future as a GG and saw them. They are phenomenal. So, So expect that. We will also, Night Phase and I, as soon as we see Infinity War, as soon as we can get together, we will do a spoiler cast like we always do. So stay tuned for that. Maybe if you're free that time too, we'll try to sneak you on that. But Night Phase and I always do that. We always do our Marvel spoiler cast. Always have fun doing that. But this is his idea. We're going to rank the MCU. Thank you guys so much. So close to...
Experiencing technical difficulties?
We're good. So close to 15,000 views. Thank you guys so much. I messed up. I forgot the new sub shout out. Usually, I write that down. So I'll get you on the next episode. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. So let's get this started off. Welcome to the podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. How you been, Dan the Man?
Awful, just...
Night Phase, how you been, brother?
I've been alright.
Shout out to all these fellas that were...
Move on.
Shout out to all these fellas
Too
that
depressing.
were at the GG's, B-Day. It was a great time. A lot of fun. Greatness always awaits when the GG's around, right?
Not too often. Not too often I get to see you drink.
Alright, so how we're going to do this is we're going to go off Night Phase's list. We have all our own individual lists. We're going to go off Night Phase's list, and then we'll explain, why this one is higher on our list, so forth, blah, blah, blah. But before we get to it, I want to ask you guys, how did you come to the determination of this list? Like, what was your factors?
I literally had...
Let's start with Night Phase.
Well, I actually rewatched all of them before I came up with the list. That helped out a lot because, especially with the Thor movies, how I rank them now. Because there was one I thought, okay, this has to be the worst one.
Oh, my number one movie, Thor: The Dark World.
But it does help when you rewatch it, because then you're like, okay, now I remember why I like this or why I didn't like this in the first place, So that's how I came up with my list.
What about you, Dan the Man?
I came up with my list because I was thinking, this is all... art is objection, right? So when you look at it... Oh, what
So
is it?
deep.
Objective.
Yeah.
What is it?
So deep.
Subjective, that's the word.
Subjective.
Destructive.
So my favorite doesn't really matter to other people, but I base it off of what I want to rewatch it, which one I want to watch more, and ones that I'm like. I've seen
Night
it.
Phase really
That's
liked your
enough.
list. He didn't like my list.
No.
Yeah, I thought I was
I'll
gonna
read
like your
this
list.
direct
but I was
quote
like, oh, your list is
Of
good.
my...
I moved all the middle pieces.
Yeah.
I feel like I unfairly moved the middle pieces the first
Here
time.
you go. He goes... This is his quote.
Yep.
Here
There we go.
you go. He goes, Iron Man 3 over Cap 1 in Avengers Age of Ultron, you're a piece of shit. LOL. I might be a deity, Night Phase, but I have feelings, alright? That is a little harsh.
You get over it. You're the GG. You're the GG. Come on.
So my list, this is how I brought it down. A, how significant it was to the MCU. What did that movie really mean to that franchise, to that character, so forth. B, personally, what I liked. It might be a little biased on one movie on this list.
Right.
Super biased.
But if I personally liked it. And then C, did that character grow? Did that movie make them better? Did that sequel make them better? In that, like, does their character arc get a little bit better? And that's how I based all three of my list on. Is all three of those benefactors. So much better than these two. So simplistic. So simplistic. But let's go. Let's start it off. Rattle it off, Nightface.
Alright.
What is your least favorite? So there's 18 movies at the moment. So 18. What's number 18?
Number 18, Iron Man 3. I'm about to go ham on this, alright?
Right, here we go. Let it out.
Alright, so, like, the first, I actually prefer Iron Man 2 over this one because you at least got more progress with Tony's character. Yeah, Iron Man 3 starts off, he has, like, PTSD, which was pretty good, and then he just forgets about it halfway. He's like, I'm okay. Not only that, but he's not even in his Iron Man suits half the time. He's just, like, autopiloting the thing, like that epic scene where Air Force Ones get fucking blown out, and everybody's dropping, and then he's saving everybody. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And his suit gets smashed by a truck, and he's like, oh, I've just been autopiloting this whole thing. It's just like...
You're off the podcast, So for Iron Man 3, what was it on your list?
For me, it was number 13.
Why so? Why'd you put it at 13?
I actually liked the movie. I thought it was a fun movie to watch. Like, I enjoyed watching
Watch
it.
your words,
Even
rewatch.
I even enjoyed rewatching it.
Yeah.
I feel like that whole him using them kind of drones was kind of clever, but to say that would be also to say, like, in Star Wars, you know, they have a little bit of that going on.
We're not talking Star Wars.
Right. So I feel like it can be hypocritical to
We'd
judge
be here forever if we ranked those
that a
movies.
bit. Yeah. I actually liked the movie though. I liked the whole feel of it. It was interesting. The only weird part, it was kind of cringy in the beginning when he starts dancing to the Christmas music, but other than that, I actually kind of enjoyed it.
Okay, Iron Man 3 was number 12 for me, so pretty close to your list. For me, it had huge significance for Tony. I know you guys, Nightface said he didn't like him out of the suit. I like the fact, because there's a line in Spider-Man at Homecoming where he talks about how you have to be a man out of the suit.
True.
And this is kind of his movie for that, where where Iron Man 2 delved a little bit into his, alcoholism, but it didn't really didn't progress him much. He was kind of, a little depressed that he was dying in that movie. But in this movie, he learns to be the man without the suit. It was a huge significance for him. I enjoyed the movie. I think out of all the Iron Man movies, this one's the second best.
Yeah.
Number one was very significant.
Not only the Mandarin, that twist was god awful. You know the director Shane Black? I feel like he was just trying to do a Lethal Weapon movie with this. Like, did you not get that vibe? Like when he was out of the suit, him and Rhodes,
I can see being upset.
It's like Riggs and Murtaugh all the way.
Too old for this shit.
Yeah, like I'm too old for this shit.
I thought it was a little interesting how they handled the Mandarin. I think it was the perfect time to introduce magic into the series. And I can see why you are really upset about that. It just
felt like lazy writing, and I felt like they really had no idea where to take the villain for this story. I mean, Guy Pearce, he was like, especially at the end, he's like, I'm the Mandarin. It was just cringy. And then you said like, oh well, he learns to be
a man. Under 20 minutes, Nightface.
He did not learn nothing because what's her name, Potts? She ended up the one saving the day.
You leave Pepper alone. I like Gwyneth Paltrow.
I don't, and that movie actually makes me like her, so that's really saying something.
Yeah,
let's go with number 17. What was it for you, Nightface?
Incredible Hulk.
Incredible.
Only because out of all the movies in the MCU, I feel like that's the most forgettable and just the most disconnected out of the portion. I mean, Edward Norton was good, but Mark Ruffalo was better in my opinion.
Let's talk about this. Is all our opinion, by the way. So do not kill us in the. This is all our opinion.
But if you agree with me on Iron Man 3, please.
And to be honest, I like every single one of these movies. But if we had to rank them, this is where I had to put them.
18.
Huh?
You put it at the.
Where'd you put it?
Me and Levi have it at the same spot.
18.
It's going to be 18, and I actually genuinely like all of these movies, except for this one.
Ooh,
this one,
okay.
I don't care to rewatch it. Quite frankly, it's dead to me. But I just didn't like it. I didn't like the story. The first one was better, and the first one was so much more different, and people
This
don't
was
like it.
this was the actual second movie of the MCU. Iron Man was the first one, then Incredible Hulk. This movie actually had pretty big significance in the fact that at the end it introduced the Avengers Initiative or whatever,
Right,
or
right.
they have that scene in the bar.
Really,
whatever.
literally the only
But
reason why I knew to watch the movie.
I like this movie's just okay. You could tell this was one of their earlier movies. I could rewatch this movie, but I thought Edward Norton was a bad casting. To be honest, I didn't like him as Bruce Banner at all. I thought they did pretty good with the Hulk CGI compared to the very first.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
You guys prefer this one over the Ang Lee Hulk?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like the
absolutely.
Lee.
You actually prefer Ang Lee Hulk?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was different. It was artsy, but I mean
it was a little too long for me.
It was a little long. There wasn't much happening. But
let's keep it MCU. Stop tangenting. All right.
I mean, just answer the question. He asked a legitimate question.
Yeah.
He did, but let's keep it MCU because the Ang Lee stuff isn't MCU. I know you cinephiles want.
I didn't like it, but the CGI, it was better than the first movie. But the first movie was made 2003.
I even like the villain in this one, where he tried to become like his own.
Oh, the abomination.
Yeah, he tried to become like his own Hulk monster.
Yeah, I will say the fight scene at the end in Harlem. That was pretty good.
Where he actually says Hulk smash. I think that was really cool.
Yeah, but everything else, like I said, was just forgettable.
Yeah, this movie, it just doesn't hold a candle. You could tell the beginning movies, most of them, that's what they were. Just beginning. They're just learning the character. They're learning to be this. There's so much, 10, 12 years later, if I told you that Marvel MCU would still be going and it'd be like the biggest draw ever, like they're hitting top box office records every movie now.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I don't know, guy. I don't think so. I'm a huge Marvel fan, and Marvel is my preferred, but I wouldn't think it would. But man, they have really taken it, molded it. They are true to the comics, but yet they do a good job differentiating from the comics without, hurting the fan base at all. What's number 16, Night Phase? Let's keep it going. We'll try to keep this one light.
Number 16, Thor: The Dark World. I actually rewatched this one to decide which Thor movie I like. Just better, and I like Thor 1 significantly a little bit better because I think it has better acting.
I agree.
Better character moments, because I used to hate on that because the whole Earth portion I felt was weak. But Thor: The Dark World, what I liked was we got to spend more time in Asgard, but the story wasn't as powerful as I wanted it to be. Like the whole Loki and Thor moments are good in Thor: The Dark World, but everything else is just what's his name? Malachi, the villain. Awful villain.
You don't like the Dark Elves? They have feelings, I think. What about you? Where was Thor: The Dark World?
Thor: The Dark World is on number 14, and this is a movie I actually really like. This is getting toward the middle portion, and these are the movies that I actually really, really like. But I mean,
we'll recap everybody
awesome.
Just in case. We'll recap at the end. We'll just rattle off our list.
Yeah, because I'm not done with Iron Man 3. But yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead with that.
So Thor: The Dark World, loved the visuals. It was a really cool, pretty movie. The story was enough for me to pay attention. It escalated, so there was always, you always wanted to keep watching. There was never a point where you're like, okay, well, I've seen enough. So it grips you, but it's not one of the better Marvel movies. It's at 14 on my list.
Yeah. Okay. It was number 17 for me. It's the second worst one in the MCU, in my opinion. I love Thor. I actually enjoy this movie a lot. I think this movie is pretty good, but compared significantly to the rest, it doesn't. It has really no big significance in the Marvel MCU. I don't feel like Thor, progressed enough.
Yeah.
And I feel like Loki. I actually kind of feel like the same way about Loki now. I feel like Loki's kind of the same guy now. I love Tom Hiddleston. He's such a great actor. I do like the bro bond they're trying to build in this movie a little bit.
Yeah.
And then how they trick the Dark Elves and stuff. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the moments. I like the fighting scenes. It is a very beautiful movie. Asgard is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
They handled some. I didn't feel like the mother's death was.
No, I actually really enjoyed that part. That's probably one of the best.
I just like you said, the MCU struggled for a long time with villains, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just okay, this guy, he's a jerk.
Yeah.
We get it.
Also, the Earth stuff I think was weaker here in Thor: The Dark World. Yeah, it was weak.
Yeah, I thought I
yeah.
personally felt they didn't know what to do with Jane and Thor,
Yeah,
like how
Like,
they
Jane's character arc just plummeted.
yeah,
It's
and
like-
then
even
Kat
still.
Dennings was supposed to be the comedy in this movie, and
Yeah.
she did all right.
she was
with the,
more toned down than in Thor though. In this,
Yeah.
one. Like
yeah.
but like it's just they were trying to integrate their story, Jane and her story, with Thor's, and it just didn't mesh well. So.
What I do?
I didn't just pointing at the cat.
Oh, to get it.
Yeah, I agree. I just like any final thoughts on it, Dan the Man.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like it. It's just significantly. I just feel like characters didn't progress enough in this movie. Like with my tier of significance in the universe as well. I don't really even feel like this movie, set up too much. Where the later movies do such a better job.
I mean, it
at
was just supposed to be a cool filler before the Avengers started, just to see
Yeah,
Thor
yeah.
again.
Well,
What-
this is before Avengers 2, right?
Yes.
Was it before? Was it after
This
Avengers?
is Thor
No,
2 we're
this
talking
is
about,
before
not Thor
Age
1.
of Ultron. This is before Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
okay.
this started Phase 2, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Actually Iron Man 3 and then Thor: The
Yeah,
Dark
that's
World.
right. Yeah.
Okay, right.
All right.
Yeah.
So.
But I don't
Well-
even like Thor as the character before the Marvel movies.
Yeah, I like
thought it was
Chris Hemsworth
interesting.
a lot. I think he's a great Thor. But
This one
this
definitely.
movie, they were just kind of hanging out.
This one I think sold me a little more on Thor. Well, the Avengers definitely did, but this one.
I
sold me a
think he
little
was
more on
much
Thor.
better in Avengers than anything.
Oh, he was fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
And now he's
He's progressed so much.
So what about which one are we on? 16?
15.
15?
Number 15, Thor. Okay,
Thor 1.
I used to make it a challenge.
That means Thor Uno.
Yeah, so Thor, I had to rewatch this one because I remember hating it when I first saw it, but good thing I rewatched it because I liked it more than Thor: The Dark World. It's just like I said, like when he's on Earth, and I get what they were going for. It was better handled here though. Them trying to go for like, okay, he needs to become more than just the hammer, than the god. He needs to like what they were. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the lesson in this movie a lot, where his dad punished him.
Yeah,
Like you
it was
have to
was
be,
better executed here.
Yeah. Like, and I like that he was banished to Earth, and he, the coffee scene where he's drinking coffee. I
Yeah,
want
another
another! And
one. But when
just
he
throws
when
it-
he goes to the pet store, he's like, "I'll have a horse." You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Yeah, but
And I think the comedy in this movie works much better than 2. In my opinion, I think
I give you
Thor
that.
2.
I give you that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to be a bit more fun for this.
Yeah, I
one.
think this
Yeah.
one was a bit more fun. I thought, I liked him. This is the third movie before Avengers, right?
No, actually, it's the second Iron Man, and then
No,
Is
because
it
Captain America was second, I thought.
no. It's Iron Man, then Thor,
And-
Iron
no,
Man
it was
2.
Incredible Hulk.
Iron Man, Incredible Hulk.
Thor.
Then Iron Man 2, then Thor, and then Captain America, and then
Okay.
Avengers. Yeah, but the acting was so great. Like the director who made it was Kenneth Branagh or whatever. He's like he likes Shakespearean stuff, so you can kind of see that.
It had that vibe in it.
it had
for
that
sure, especially with
Shakespearean-
the Asgardians.
Yes, with the whole father, and then I like the moments with Loki when he finds out he's like a frost giant. He's like, what the hell?
Yeah, he felt so hurt. In the
Yeah,
end. I think that's when Tom really shined a lot.
Yes,
in
so
his
that's why I was
role.
like, wow. Like looking back, I'm like, this is really powerful stuff. I really like this. Like,
Where was Thor Uno on your list, Dan the Man?
It was actually behind Thor: The Dark World. I like Thor: The Dark
So
World a little bit better.
what number though?
Oh, this was number 15.
Okay.
This was a turning point in movies. This is when all movies wanted to come out in 3D, and it was the latest and greatest.
I did watch it in 3D.
This was the first movie.
only had a couple cool scenes.
This was the movie
3D.
where we had to watch on 3D because for some reason like the shows were weird and we could only watch 3D that day, and it was probably the lamest 2D 3D experience ever. Like
Yeah,
you're
there was
watching
only like
with
2 or
3D.
3 scenes that were 3D in this movie.
It's like with the giant alien thing that opens
and
up
the
its
hammer,
face.
and the hammer. Where you swing.
Right, but that's the rest of it is like such a 2D.
Yeah, but you
there's
can't
nothing
like
to
you're
it.
gonna base the movie on.
No,
your...
I'm just that was my experience watching it. The movie itself, it was a
Your brother's. We have your older brother off camera, ready to beat you down. That's a man. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, the police station's like right next door. So
That
I should
is
be
valid.
safe. But actually, I like the like these are we're getting to the middle portion of the list, so this is like still really really great movies.
Why'd you like it
And
better
just
than
not
2?
I liked it less than 2.
No, yeah.
Or why did you like 2 more than this one?
I just feel like 2 was a little more interesting for me. I've seen one like so many times that I probably burned through it.
Into elves, man.
Into dark elves.
But one, I don't know. It's just like there's so much downtime in the desert that to rewatch is like, okay, well,
right.
I don't really want to anymore.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But like I'm saying, I'm basing my whole list on what I want to rewatch it. You know.
Yeah, rewatchability is an important factor.
That's key because for me, that's what makes a favorite movie. Is one that I can go, you know what? Let me just watch it.
For me, this one is number 14 on the list. I think it does have some significance because it is Thor Solo first movie. I did like this movie overall. I like the characters. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the storyline was really good. Introduction to Hawkeye was a little...
Yeah, that was just shoehorned in.
Yeah, it was a little weird because it's so dark. Cool, you can't see it. You're like,
right, yeah.
Is that Hawkeye? Like, what?
Especially with the 3D glasses.
Yeah.
Very dark movie for 3D.
Yeah, like, there was a lot of dark scenes, but I thought him and James' relationship in this one was really good. I really liked it. It was more fleshed out, more thoughtful. And, you know, Natalie Portman's always great.
Yeah,
right. Not always.
Even when it's boring, it's something fun to look at, right?
Black Swan, baby.
If motions could talk.
What?
If motions could talk.
Yeah, right.
That's saying it all.
But I think it has good weight. It's still really rewatch. To me personally, I could rewatch all these movies without no problem. Even Incredible Hulk.
No, except for Incredible Hulk.
Like I could even rewatch that. I actually watched it a few days ago. They had it on FX, and
they do that a lot. They
play it on FX all the time. Yeah. And it holds, like, each movie to me still holds up. I'm just basing it more of, like, what I said earlier is just, like, how significant this movie was for the character, how significant it is to the MCU and their plot line. These earlier movies are big significant, but only few of them have huge significance in my eye.
And this is one of those
Thor was in the middle of the road at 14 for me.
Okay.
Right.
So, let's go with your number...
13.
13
will be Doctor Strange.
Ah, interesting. That's pretty low.
Got easy to look up.
He's like, what?
Huh?
He didn't mean it.
He's feeling some type of way.
Mean it.
The golden Doctor Strange.
The pros. What I like, Benedict Cumberbatch as Strange is great. The visuals, some of the best visuals, I give it that I've seen was trippy.
First of all, Sherlock Holmes can't be Doctor Strange. They can't be the same character.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. But
I say why not?
Yeah. How dare you?
But other than that, like the ancient
you named like one pro, bro.
I named two.
Well, that's why it's all the way up at 14, right?
Yeah.
Or 13.
Benedict Cumberbatch, that's the pro, and the visuals. Okay, that's what I enjoyed the most about the movie. Everything else, like the overall story, is, the villain was whatever. He should have been better because I like that actor.
You don't like capes. That's what it's really down to. You don't like living capes. Admit it.
I like capes. Sorry.
I agree with you. The villain is pretty weak in this. He's a great actor, but it's kind of...
Yeah. But not only that, but like the ancient one, like when she died, I was like, oh... Whatever.
Were you okay with that change? Because the ancient one used to be an old Chinese man.
Wasn't really feeling it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was just like, like they kind of got somebody else. And then the side characters, like I can't even remember their freaking names. Juan is one of them, and then the other guy.
The bookkeeper, right?
Yeah, the bookkeeper. Yeah. So see, like all these side characters weren't that as interesting.
You don't like Beyonce, right? That library scene with Beyonce hurt you.
Beyonce wasn't it? Wait, I didn't catch that.
No, the song.
Oh,
he was listening to.
See, I forgot about that part. I forgot about that part.
Good. Oh, hi, Bob.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just like I like the visuals though. Like, and then also the villain. If you think about it, the villain in this movie, your mama dude, whatever the hell.
Dormammu. He's actually a huge villain in the MCU.
He was cool. But the fact that he got bored and just gave up, that's kind of like a cop-out. That's kind of lame.
I agree totally. It's a big cop-out, for sure.
Yeah. It's like, I'm so bored. Okay, fine, I give up. Like.
All right, Dan. What number was The Strange of Doctors for you?
The Strange of Doctors was placed number 8. Going towards the deep end. I really liked it.
We're going deep.
Super pretty movie.
Super deep.
Just one... I remember when the trailer came out for this one, it was like kind of It status, where it was like...
No, that trailer was...
we gotta see it. Like that.
Yeah, it was
that
like
was
some
one of those.
Inception style.
Right,
like,
they had all the buildings. Like I loved.
Right.
Definitely
the
very
visuals of it.
Inception-y.
Like I felt disappointed that the movie was a lot like more straightforward, and then it really gets really weird. Like there was in the trailer, it had sense to it, and then in the movie, it kind of like it got a little bit more extra, but still a really really pretty movie to watch. Benedict Cumberbatch was fantastic. That car crash scene was like one of the best film scenes ever. I mean, it was really really great.
Yeah.
How everything was flying around.
Yeah.
The characters were cool. I like the final bosses. It was a clever. It wasn't straightforward. You know, I'm gonna punch you, and then the last blow was gonna be the killing blow. Like it was more than that. It was.
Did you like
there
the
was
twist
layers to
of
it.
also his close friend that was teaching him ends up being his enemy? It was gonna be his enemy.
Oh
in the
yeah,
future.
yeah. I didn't catch that until like the second view.
I don't even remember that. What?
Yeah. Do you see that? That's what I mean. Like
He's a
I gotta rewatch.
he's a
it
big
again.
time enemy.
Mordo.
In,
was it Mordo?
This
Right? Mordo. That
I
was
think
him?
so.
Yep.
He was changed too. His
Yeah.
character.
It was Mordo. We got a correction. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember now.
That's
Yeah,
why
no.
he gets paid.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. but see, that's what I'm saying. Like the side characters just fall flat. Like they're not that memorable.
Yeah, well, I forgot him, so I guess,
Yeah,
I guess so.
I kind of
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah.
For me, this was also number 8 on my list. I really love this movie.
There we go.
I actually kind of want to throw it a little bit higher, but it has huge weight for the MCU in the sense that they actually introduced magic and sorcery into the world, which they had their opportunity and missed big time in Iron Man 3. With you know, I thought that's when they were going to introduce like sorcery with God, what? Damn.
Yeah, they could have done it.
Mandarin, yeah. Geez, cool.
But instead, they wanted to do, the story.
They went with a little
They
comedy.
went with some Scarface like blow story.
MCU. The MCU does a great job with casting. Even the ones you question, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. This one was a perfect fit. He just looks like Doctor Strange. I like the overall art. I liked how it started out pretty simplistic, where you didn't. Then it kind of gets trippy a little bit when he starts to realize his powers and he opens his mind. Yeah, a little bit. I really enjoyed this movie. Saw it IMAX 3D with my pops. Really had no
I
qualms.
want to see that. Yeah.
Had no qualms with this movie. I really, beside like the side characters, I agree are a little fat, and the villain.
Yeah.
But for me, the huge weight of this actually, him having the time stone and the sorcery introduced in the MCU, it just trumps everything. This movie has to be higher.
I will say this is the best movie in the MCU to watch when you're fucked up.
Yeah.
Hands down. This is my to-go to. You want to see Doctor Strange?
Oh, my God.
Because I
Happy 420, guys.
Is
Oh,
it?
yeah,
guys are
420,
It
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Chad,
Why
if
do
you're
you think we're
watching,
not
go
at
easy.
Chad's house?
Chad, go easy if you're watching. Go
Yeah.
easy.
What do you think I showed up here so late today?
Bullshit.
I had to take care of some
You
business.
are squeaky clean. Go with the next one, wherever we're at.
All right. Number 12. See, from here on out, from 12 to 1,
It's
these are
really
my
hard.
favorites.
It's really hard.
From 12 to 1 are my favorites. Like,
Yeah.
So even if this is ranked at number 12, I still really enjoy it. So number 12, Ant-Man.
Okay.
Wow.
So, like I said, the reason why it's number 12 is I just see it like the funniest movie in the MCU. There's nothing wrong with that, but I like more like dramatic weight and stuff. I know you appreciate the comedy portion a lot.
Yeah, I'm a little biased with that. I love comedy.
And
mostly.
like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just this is the funniest. I see it more of a
But
comedy.
you heard it first. Nightface hates ants. He's racist against ants. 12? Preposterous. I'm out of here.
But it's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, it is.
It's so much fun. It's the most grounded, and it separates itself a lot from the MCU. That's not a negative, but like I said, like there's other movies that I just enjoy
They have
better.
more weight to it too.
Yeah, they have more weight to it. They're better integrated with the overall MCU, so I enjoy that more. So.
What about you, Dan the Man? Where's the Man of Ants?
The Man of Ants makes it down all the way to 6th place.
Ooh, okay.
Really, really cool movie. One of those movies where it's like it changed kind of the way everything was going. Like everything was getting more serious. You have like Thor: the Dark World, and
Thor
you
the
know,
Black World.
Thor:
Whoa,
the Black World.
Whoa!
You got like Iron Man 3. Like I can't remember what came before that, but they're really kind of more serious movies. And this one's really like kind of flipped the switch, and it was like, okay, well, we're gonna do something different. It was completely like you could never expect it. It's more of a like heist movie
Yeah, I like
than
that.
it is
absolutely.
a superhero movie, which is great because it works. You know, like if it didn't work, then that's one thing. But it did really well. It was interesting. It was funny, so you can always pay attention. You're always into it. And that final battle was probably one of my favorite final battles. It's so good.
Yeah,
really, really good battle.
It's really cool in IMAX as well, seeing that one.
I haven't seen that one in IMAX.
It was really cool.
You're so lucky. You got to see all these.
I don't know.
You like it so much. What's the main character's name?
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah, I don't remember any of the characters' names. But I remember they looked really great.
I know.
I remember
Tommy
the
was
villain. The villain was...
Tommy Wiseau was in this.
I always remember the most random stuff. The villain was drinking milk at night, and that tripped me up for days. I'm like, who drinks milk? Like water at night.
Not just milk, organic milk.
That's wasp
the breath.
milk, okay?
That's the breath you want before you go to
but
sleep.
That's probably another negative action now that I think of it. Is the villain. He just felt like this corporate like douchebag from Starbucks or something like, you know.
This was the biggest problem for MCU for a while now. Was the villains are kind of little weak.
Yeah, he was just, I mean,
But
when he was Yellow
fun.
Jacket, it was cool.
Yeah.
But he was just like a blank character.
He
Ant-Man,
was interesting though.
Ant-Man for me was number 7. I have it really high up on the list as well. I really love this. I think the casting of having old Hank Pym and then having Scott Lang, having Hank Pym teach Scott Lang to be Ant-Man. Paul Rudd fits Scott Lang a lot more than he fits Hank Pym.
Scott Lang is the main star name.
Yeah,
I got
Ding,
you.
Shove
ding, 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 ding.
Mr. Moderator, Mr. Correspondent.
He's
But
like,
I really like Paul Rudd. I had a lot of concerns for this movie. Paul Rudd being Scott Lang. How are they going to handle Ant-Man? Because Ant-Man is one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. A lot of people don't know this, but he's the original Avenger, not Captain America. He was in the original Avengers. It was Ant-Man, Thor, Iron Man, and Hulk, and Ant-Man, with his wife, Wasp, obviously. So I don't know why I pointed to you, Eric. My bad. But I had some little concerns how they were going to handle this, but to me, it ended up all those concerns when I first watched the movie. It went away. They handled it completely well.
Right.
I like the comedy route, the comedic route. They went with it. Like you said, it was a heist movie. They took a lot of different risks with this movie, and it paid off. I liked how, his partner, the Wasp, that's going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp coming up soon.
Yeah.
How she was introduced, how it wasn't his wife right away, how he's just learning. It's, Hank Pym's daughter. I kind of like how they changed it up a little bit from the comics. Like how they led to her suit at the end.
Oh,
I feel
awesome.
like this had pretty big significance in the sense this was right before Civil War, I believe.
Yes.
It's before Civil War.
Yes. It was leading
Yeah.
up to it. Yep.
And
We're looking it up.
I was really excited how well they handled
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
The
It
Man
was
of Ants.
just before
Thank you, moderator.
Civil War.
Like
That was
he
the movie
did
they
such a great job, and just even seeing him in Civil War was really fun.
Oh yeah.
And I'm excited to see him in this movie coming up.
Ant-Man and the
Infinity
Wasp.
War.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I
Yeah.
gotta
It's gonna
rewatch
be
that
so
before
fun.
the new Avengers.
So really, really good. It was really high up on my list. I know it's really high,
Yeah.
but
Like
I
said,
really enjoyed it.
This placing Ant-Man was very hard for me.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie. This is like.
Not enough, guy.
No, I mean, we've agreed to vote you out of this island. Like, you can remove yourself from the panel right
All right.
now.
We're taking these.
Yeah.
You don't even like Doctor Strange either. You can leave Doctor
Yeah.
Strange.
You know how much this is worth? I'm taking it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Let's go
To the next one I face.
Okay, here we go. I'm definitely getting voted after
Number
this.
11, right?
Number 11.
Mhm.
Super biased opinion here, but Captain America: The First Avenger.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
Cap is the man. And you know what? Like, I'm glad I rewatched that movie because I thought, okay, this is probably not gonna hold up well. Actually,
No, it still holds up very well.
It holds
I'd
up
say.
very well, in my opinion. And I'm a sucker for set period settings like World War II. I just love that. So that was another plus. Red Skull could have been a better villain, sure, but seeing where Cap came from and you just have a lot of heart. He's one of the best characters. I can do this all day.
Way to redeem yourself, Chris Evans.
It's so good.
We'll
and
never forget Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
He was great, though. He was all the
He was
highlights.
funny.
Of
He was
Fantastic
funny.
Four.
Look at him.
But yeah,
Sorry,
like
that face,
no, like
it was all
seeing
him
everything
making
with
it.
Bucky and Peggy Carter going back to the beginning, especially now because Winter Soldier and Civil War are like my favorites, is awesome. So
What's the moral of the story, though? Take drugs, kid. Take steroids to
Yeah.
get stronger to defeat your enemies, right?
Motto I live by.
Where was Captain America First Avenger on your list?
Captain America First Avenger. It is number 17.
Oh,
It
wow.
is my
I want to
second.
heir this. I want to hear
It's
this.
just above the Incredible Hulk. It's watchable.
That's pretty low.
It's watchable, which beats Hulk. No, Hulk is watchable too. It's really lame. But Captain America was
Okay.
for 2/3 of the movie, it was fantastic. I feel like they could have done better writing when it came to the whole Nazi Germany. They could have done better writing when it comes to the villain because brilliant
Skull.
Hugo Weaving.
Hugo Weaving, yeah.
I mean, anything you throw in it, he's just gonna be absolutely awesome with.
agree.
And he was, but there wasn't enough of him. Like there was no development for the villain, which is kind of I'm evil because I'm evil and I work for evil
Yeah, I
people and
see
the
that.
Nazis.
I
and
wonder
we're
if
trying
they're
to
ever
take
going to
stuff.
still use him, too, because he's still hanging
Well,
around.
That's
No.
what I'm saying.
But didn't he
like,
say he didn't want to do any more Red Skull
I,
stuff?
I don't know if he said that or not, but it's still in the air. They could still bring him back because he got absorbed by the Tesseract, the Space Stone, so he could
Yeah,
come
he's
back.
just hanging out in space.
If I'm not mistaken, Hugo Weaving didn't like the role. He didn't like having the prosthetic.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't like that,
Right. So
Because that takes hours.
they
man.
might have to throw money at him before he says yes to that. I don't
Yeah.
know. But 2/3 of the movie was actually pretty fantastic when it was like all fun and all that. But once it starts to turn kind of into
Oh,
an
you like him
action
getting
movie,
beat up, bullied. Huh, Dan?
I watch it backwards to have a happy ending.
Wow, he got really strong and really weak all of a sudden.
But then when it turns to like an action movie, I feel like it just got cheesy. It just there's the villains there when he goes like towards the end of the
I
movie.
can see that vibe a little bit.
They don't
Or
use any
you think-
guns.
What do you think? It's kind of a little bit cheesy, a little bit, like
Towards the end of the movie, the bad
Mission
guys don't use
Impossible
guns.
plane, all that stuff. Yeah.
It was I don't know. It was just very poorly executed. The ending was like the very ending was interesting enough that you want to keep watching the series, but there was a long half of that movie that I could do without.
Well, I would say this. I felt like they did montage through a lot of the action, which I wish they didn't.
Yeah.
I wish they just build upon the action, like the Russo brothers did with Civil War and Winter Soldier. But yeah, I get it. I still enjoy the hell out of it. It's probably my most rewatchable of the Phase 1 movies, next to Iron Man, next to the Avengers. Have fun watching it. So.
Captain America: The First Avenger for me is number 13 on my list of all 18 films. It has pretty big significance because it's Captain America, quotation, asterisk, the first Avenger. I really like Chris Evans. He proved himself a lot in this role. I was pretty concerned when he got the role to begin with. But, that was put aside. The movie, I feel like, still really holds up today. Has pretty big weight to it, but compared to his other movies, which we'll talk about a little bit later, they're much better than this. This movie's a little more cheesy than those ones.
Yep.
This was where they still kind of didn't want to go full action yet. They still kind of want to have some cheesy montage moments and stuff. It was definitely earlier 2000s
But
movie type.
the montage stuff was my favorite.
Yeah.
I preferred it.
I actually really like that they started off with Red Skull. I wish they will use him more sometime down the line. Don't know if that's going to happen because he technically didn't die. Like the twist where, he becomes modern. He's frozen in ice for 100
Right, that was
years.
interesting.
Peggy Carter was great.
She was.
She got her own spin-off
Super
show
fun to
because of
look at.
this.
I mean,
But it didn't
Very
last
fun
too
to look
long.
very fun.
Very fun.
Which one?
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
Very fun to look at. Just
Yeah, she is. She is
Natalie Portman.
very pleasantly nice to
but,
look at. I didn't make no
I'm
sense.
disappointed that she hasn't really shown up in future movies, like An Old Lady, and then the TV show. But I never watched the TV show.
Man, you forgot everything. We're gonna have to talk. You really remember in Civil War?
No, yeah, she shows up as an old lady.
Yeah, but what happened?
He's saying that he wanted like the younger.
I wanted
Oh, you wanna
her.
see more younger?
Yeah, I wanted her to show up.
Did
and
you
be
watch
her.
the show?
No.
That's why it failed then, because of you. Because of you, Dan the man.
Good.
All right, let's go to number 10.
We're in the top 10 now. All right, guys. Number 10, Avengers: Age of Ultron. And I feel like this movie gets so much hate. I really don't know why. It's like, sure, it's not better than the Avengers.
My face is Age of Ultron.
Yeah. But I just like seeing the Avengers dynamic. I mean, it's so much fun.
Yeah, the team up movies are really fun.
Yeah, they're so much fun. It's like you rarely get this, so just enjoy the hell out of it.
Well, that was
you know?
when they rarely did it, but now they kind of do it in every movie now.
Well, yeah.
It's like it's almost Avengers every
So,
movie.
Yeah, I freaking loved it. I had a blast watching it. Ultron started off very promising, but then he became like a little underwhelming.
I actually really liked him a lot.
Yeah, but like towards the end, then he just kind of like fell flat. I felt like this movie could have been more like the stakes were high, but he's a freaking AI.
Yeah.
Like nuclear missiles could have been launched. He could have done so many things, you know. But
He just decided to lift the city.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. But that's what we got. But still, oh man, I had a blast
You
watching
heard
it.
it. Knifeface doesn't like Slovakia or Slovenia.
Yeah, I'm like,
You don't even remember what
yeah, you don't even remember. Sokovia.
Let's look it up.
Mr. Moderator, Sokovia, right?
Sokovia? Where's Sokovia? Russia?
I think
it's Russia.
Or is it made up?
It's around that.
it's
Probably might
in
be made up.
it's like by Greenland and Iceland, like right around there.
That's not factual.
Yeah, that's
Where
not even.
was
That's
it
not
for
Russia.
Avengers.
Mine
Age of
was
Ultron.
all the way. He was in 10. I'm all the way over at 11 for
Okay.
Age of Ultron.
Okay.
Right next door.
Cool.
I thought it was a good movie. Like it was a good movie. Like
Yeah.
if it weren't for
Mm.
the first one, it would be a great movie. It'd be like, wow, remember that how awesome that was?
Yeah, exactly.
But the bar was a little too high. It was one of those movies.
Yeah.
It was
I
one of
agree.
those movies where
Yeah.
we're just. I didn't want to have expectations. I really didn't. The trailers were awesome, so I knew that it was gonna look cool. It's super interesting. You just want to know what's gonna happen next to the characters and
Yeah,
whatnot.
exactly.
There just wasn't. There was a lot happening, which which was a little bit much.
right.
But then it almost seems like,
yeah,
the whole New York fiasco carried more weight than a whole city being lifted up. And
it
then,
did. It did. I do appreciate the character
Dan
interactions.
also
a lot,
doesn't
too.
like Slovakia.
Yeah, I tried vacationing.
but
Good.
but the character
It was
moments.
up in the air. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Too
just
much work.
destroy it already. Who
Too
cares?
much work.
But like the character interactions were great. Like I think the best scene in this movie is actually at the party when they're all just hanging out.
That's the best bit.
Yeah. The best,
They're trying to lift up the hand, right?
Thor's
Yeah.
hammer. Is that- I
My
guess we're all
girlfriend's
Asgard?
better than your girlfriend.
Oh, yeah, but Jane's better.
Yeah.
I
I
don't,
love that. You don't remember that?
I don't remember that bit. No.
Well, Iron Man and Thor, they're talking about their girlfriends, and they're having a fun,
Yeah.
whimsical, and then he's like, "Yeah, my girl's better."
yeah, like Jane's better. Yeah. But one negative I have for this is the forced romance with Black Widow and Hulk. It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, they kind of throw it out there.
That was weird.
Like on rewatching it, like I want to believe these two there's that chemistry that built, but it really feels forced when you rewatch it. It just comes out of nowhere.
I was gonna say something, but I'll let it go.
What are you gonna say?
What? Say it.
No,
Say like, no, you gotta say it.
It was. I had a bad, thing with the Hulk and
Yeah, right.
Playing
How would it-
hide the zucchini.
How would it work?
it wouldn't work. She'd die. I think.
Yeah.
I think she'd be ripped apart.
Well, I mean, if Superman can make it work, then
He cheats though. They cop out in the movies like that.
But how does even Superman does it? He take a kryptonite pill, like if it's
I've
if it's Viagra.
His-
it just takes-
yeah, because his Superman pill would have to actually lessen the effect.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I do agree the romance is a little
Have
rushed,
to be
but I
down
kind
there.
of like the fact they switched it up a little bit. Let Hulk love a little. All right, let him love a little.
Yeah, it's
For
fine.
me, this movie's pretty low on my list, but I still really enjoy it. I like watching this movie a lot.
What number?
It is number 15 on my list of 18. Avengers: Age of Ultron. Like, ooh. You look at me like that again, Eric.
Moderator.
Wait, what do you do? What look did he give you?
No, he was shocked. He was like, what?
Oh.
He gave that, bruh.
Oh, because it's over at
It's number
15.
15, yeah.
Yeah, well, he sent me the list before, so I looked at him.
Okay, the moderator is booting Levi out.
All right.
Like, we have voted you off. All right, guys, come on. Now the podcast really begins.
Dan the Man
Dan the
and
Show.
Night Face Podcast,
Yeah.
episode 1.
No, he's been voted out also.
Are you
Oh!
on?
Yeah.
All right, let me explain. Everyone's getting mad hostile. Simmer down, kiddos. I actually really like this. I remember Mello and I went to Atlanta. We went to a trip to Atlanta,
Must be
and
nice.
it was fun. It was
Living
really
the
fun.
life of the rich and
But
fabulous.
Avengers: Age of Ultron
Oh.
came out that weekend, and we were in ATL. We went to their big theater, their poppin' theater there. beautiful cinema. One of the most beautiful ones. It was like a cinema / like arcade. It was ridiculous.
Were there zombies there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
sweet.
zombies everywhere.
Uh,
I heard they ruined the movie, but.
But we saw it first day. It was really good. I really
First
enjoyed
day?
the movie. But like some of the opinions they have, I agree with. I feel like this movie, weight-wise, isn't as significant as Avengers 1. I think Avengers 1 was a much better movie. I had a lot. I think like this movie really holds. Like I really like it. I like how they introduced Vision. That was the twist.
And Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet. The twins, I thought they were okay, to be honest. They couldn't use mutants, so they had to say something else. But
Right.
they were Magneto's kids. But now that
What was the word that they used?
Enhanced.
enhanced
Yeah,
or
something like
something.
that,
Like
yeah.
they couldn't say mutant because Fox legally has that. But now that Fox is owned by Disney, so maybe we'll see X-Men finally
We're gonna definitely see the next time. They're gonna go, hey, look, Scarlet Witch, that mutant. Like,
Yeah.
they're just gonna.
Yeah.
That word.
Yeah.
Get in there,
They're
you
just gonna
mutant.
say it.
Yeah.
Ah!
Your
Right at
mutant
your
rights
face.
are revoked.
Yeah. But I, out of the twins, I believe Scarlet Witch was much better. I liked her. She was more believable.
Fun to look at, also.
Huh?
Fun to look
Yeah.
at.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they are.
I mean,
She's a Olsen.
She's been
Right,
growing on
Olsen,
me.
yeah.
She's been growing on me.
But yeah, she's much better in the later movies, I say,
Mhm.
than this one. But her introductory role was good. I did like Ultron a lot. They did introduce Wakanda a little bit. They kind of like,
Yeah.
hey, but no
Did
Black
they? I didn't
Panther or
remember that.
anything.
Yeah,
in this.
yeah,
Yeah, they go to Wakanda for a little bit.
Do they?
No,
Yeah.
no,
Oh,
they don't go to Wakanda.
Yeah.
And
No, they go to this shipyard like near Wakanda, but they don't go to Wakanda.
oh, okay,
Well,
right. And then
yeah,
they
you're
see
talking
it.
about
It's like
actual like
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but
Okay.
they go to that area. Is
Oh,
what I
okay,
meant.
that's
Right,
what
that's
happened.
where that
Yeah.
guy, what's his name?
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis,
Yeah.
Claw.
Yeah.
They introduced
They
him.
introduced Claw, so which is kind of a lead to Black Panther,
Yeah.
and I like how Ultron like ripped his arm off. Was like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh
I'm not
wait, you
Iron
really
Man."
feel pain? My bad. Like, like, I'm sorry about that. I kind of like how he had this conflicted feelings with his
Yeah.
father, Iron Man. And then he was going to make this new being that ended up becoming Vision, which was really cool. And
Yeah.
Thor
Right.
kind of had that
Yeah,
weird.
Vision was cool.
Thor had that weird Ragnarok moment where, hey, I have to leave for a little bit.
yeah.
I have to leave for a little bit to introduce the new movie.
That's one big
Yeah.
takeaway from the movie, like his thunder bath or whatever.
Yeah. Ah,
Yeah.
Lake Minnetonka.
That was just odd. That was an odd choice.
I gotta rewatch this movie. I don't remember any of these things.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, people, I didn't see the movie.
I watched this movie several times. I really like this movie a
I'm
lot.
gonna come clean.
It's a little low on my list because I said I don't think it has that much significance in the MCU, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's just like,
Yeah, kinda.
yeah, party round 2.
Yeah.
Let's go. Like Hangover 1, amazing. Hangover 2, kind of a retread. And that's kind of how it kind of felt like,
I
that-
wouldn't necessarily say it like that, but okay.
yeah, not as, no, like
Yeah.
I enjoy the movie. Like,
Alright.
All right, continue.
All right.
Number 9?
Number 9. I'm gonna go with Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Man Spider. Go ahead.
All right.
Why is it number 9?
Spider-Man:
You
Homecoming.
piece of crap.
I was looking.
You guys
so
will get it in
forward-
a second.
Yeah, when I explain.
We just grabbed this.
Yeah.
I was really looking forward to this one a lot, and
Right.
it didn't disappoint me. It was good. I like that they focused on Peter Parker in high school because that's the way it should be. I like they didn't retread back to the whole Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
You know, been there, done that.
Twice.
Right. Yeah, but it's
Yeah, they did. Really, seriously.
yeah. I really enjoyed the movie. I just felt like there could have been more action on Spider-Man's front because it was more like Spider-Man just chasing, like he was just chasing the Vulture.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see more of him
Why do you like this one better than Ant-Man? Yeah, Ant-Man much lower.
because Ant-Man I just see more as a comedy. This I see it more as like an important factor of the MCU. Plus you got Iron Man, you got,
Yeah.
and I'm biased. Spider-Man, come on,
Yeah.
you know. So, I mean, I enjoy it a lot actually, but it's still my number 3 favorite Spider-Man film. I still like Spider-Man
1 and
2 at number 1, and then Spider-Man 1, the Sam Raimi films.
I
Well,
really
this
like
one.
the Sam Raimi films too. Besides,
Number 1 was probably
3 a little bit, but I do.
Yeah.
I think those films still hold up today. Sam.
Yeah.
the first Spider-Man is
1.
the number 2 best Marvel movie ever. Just
What's
less than Infinity War.
Spider-Man
what's
2?
Man Spider on?
No,
you?
the first Spider-Man.
The first, yes, Green Goblin. Well, I'll put that number 2, but I agree with you. It's really, It's really good. Like,
What about you, Dan? Man, where's Homecoming? Coming
Man
at?
Spider. It mirrors Night Phase's number 9. It's number 9
Oh,
on my list.
I didn't know.
It was, of course, Spider-Man. It has a lot of expectation, but I feel like it was a very kind of poorly written and executed movie.
You piece of.
We'll explain it in a second.
I'm just joking. You're allowed to have an opinion, I guess.
Even if it's wrong, whatever.
Yeah.
You can hide the gun now.
Yeah. All right.
But it was one of those, like, the bad guys just seem to be bad because they're bad. Like, there was no.
No, I think he was much deeper.
See, and everybody always says this, but
Oh.
throughout the movie, I'm trying to look for real motivation. He keeps saying my family, but it seems like he gets to a point where he's sad, he's good, and he just kind of keeps going.
You're
just for
telling
the
me
sake
you
of
don't
people.
like
I would say
interracial
this.
couples.
First of all,
I-
whoa,
where did that
spoiler!
Oh, I have to slightly disagree with you there, Dan. Like, I understand what you're saying. Yes, that was his
Yeah, I
motivation.
thought Vulture was really
But I see it as
He was great,
right.
but
He's-
poorly written.
But good.
I feel
so.
like
I
he's
thought
one
he
of the
was
better MCU films. Like, and I think a lot of that has to do with Michael Keaton's performance.
Yeah, going Miley King.
Because he's a fantastic
Fantastic.
actor. So he just made what is essentially like a lame Spider-Man villain. He just made that work so well.
I like
And-
the new concept of Vulture too. Like
Exactly,
how he looked
his
and everything.
design,
He looked
his
very
look.
menacing.
And I get what you're saying, that he just kept doing it even though he's all set up. But the way I see it is like kind of like a Breaking Bad thing. Have you seen that show?
Right,
Like,
yeah,
with
a little
Walter
bit.
White.
Yeah.
That he was set, but he kept doing it because he was good at it.
I get it.
Yeah.
But it seemed a little bit like he was just being evil to be evil. Like, just based off of the writing. Because they didn't show him enough for it to really develop that
Okay.
whole, he's got a thing
Right.
for it now. He just wants to be the biggest, most powerful person.
Right.
Like, you get that feeling a little bit, but it just didn't show it enough. So
Right.
it almost seemed like you were watching a TV show. Where it was just like, you're following this villain for a season, and a lot of it's the side characters.
But
I think
I
he's coming back though. I think he will be back.
I
for
hope
sure.
he does. But I feel like he had a lot of emotional weight because
Me
it
too.
does tie in with, he's dating his daughter. And that.
Whoa! Spoiler!
I thought that was incredible.
That was
twist.
great.
I was
That
like,
was
oh,
probably... That's gonna come down in
See,
history as
see.
one of the biggest twists
Right.
ever.
Because like, I was enjoying the movie, but that's what it took it up a notch
No,
for
it
me.
did.
Like when that was introduced, I was like, whoa, okay.
We went to a nice theater. It wasn't loud. Nobody was really. Everyone was to themselves. The second that the twist happens, you hear an audible gasp. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
what?
Mine was
and
like,
it's
oh shit.
Like in my memory, I remember the camera kind of doing like that whole sideways, like it's just his whole life is tearing up like right in front of his eyes. But it probably was just playing straight, and that was my mind putting that in.
Yeah.
But it was
and I love that scene in the car when he turns him. He's like, don't mess
Oh,
with me, kid.
that's great.
I love
Don't
that.
mess with
If
me,
that
kid.
was the
Yeah.
entire movie,
No, I just
I would
like
have been
that.
fine
He's
with
like,
it.
if you hurt, he's like, I'll do whatever it
Yeah.
takes.
He's like,
Yeah,
I
I'm
will
doing this to
destroy
protect
your
my
family.
He's like, I will kill everybody you love. I love that. I'll
Freaking
explain
Beetlejuice,
my
ruthless.
reasoning where I put Man Spider on my list. I put it at number 2. I was gonna put it. I really wanted to put it number 1, but I couldn't because the movie above it is far better, far better, and it has much more weight. And even even the movies below this probably have more weight, but Spider-Man is a very special character to me.
Mm-hmm.
He is my favorite all time, next to
Bias.
next to Wolverine. I am a little bit biased for sure.
Just a little bit.
Homecoming is a real special movie for me though. Like it's a very much a Breakfast Club take
Yeah.
of Spider-Man. I think they got a little too PC with some of the characters and a little. They kind of went with the rainbow selection of characters.
Like
little-
what the guy's name? Flash Thompson. That
He
that
was
guy.
Indian or
Yeah, he's
something,
an
yeah.
Indian. He's an Indian kid.
That was just way left field.
I was
Yeah,
like,
it was.
this is ungodly, and I threw my popcorn.
How dare
But
you?
I don't have the big. I liked how I was really concerned when Tom Holland first got announced for Spider-Man. When they got the rights to him, he makes that scene in Civil War. I was like awesome, but then when he talks, he's like, "Hey everybody,
Yeah,
I'm Man Spider."
everyone.
But obviously in Civil War, that scene was much better. He was much, they changed. But I was a little concerned because he was really young. But after I watched the movie, it really made me think of it because when I watched the old Spider-Man cartoons, and it's like, why does Peter seem so old? Like, he's supposed to be in high school.
Right.
And this one I really like, and even with Toby, and even with,
well, Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield
Great
as well.
teen. He was the only highlight to those movies.
Yeah, I agree. He was a great job being Peter Parker.
He deserved an Oscar for that.
More like a Razzie.
But yeah, Razzie. But let me explain a little bit. It's just Tom Holland's performance is very much like the perfect combination. Like, when a lot of people have problems with their Batman, where like some people are like, oh, he's a better. He's better. Like, Ben Affleck's a better Bruce Wayne than he is Batman, or so forth, or something like that. Some people have a lot of that as well. I messed up the TV. Whatever.
I didn't even give out like my reasons. I just gave out one, and everyone's.
Oh, okay. Well, let me finish.
I just thought you could work on that.
When you talk, I'll do that. But my favorite, Spider-Man and Wolverine are just so special to me. And this movie just got it right. And Tom Holland got it right as Peter Parker. And as Spider-Man, in my opinion. The weight and significance for him in this movie is really big. He finds out the girl he loves is her dad's the big villain, He wants to prove himself to Avengers in this movie. Tony, I kind of like how they incorporated Tony as his father figure in this, as his Uncle Ben.
Like his mentor.
Yeah, he gives him the suit. They changed how the suit was made. It was given to him by Tony. Tony has the tech for the Spider-Man suit. I liked his buddy. I forgot. I think Sam. I think it was Sam. I liked him. I liked that duo together where he was kind of the geek on the computer.
Yeah,
He's like, and the moments were right. The weight was right. Spider-Man: Homecoming to me was the perfect Spider-Man movie, but I do really, really like the first two a lot. Like, the first two Spider-Mans really still. Yeah. I remember being, in middle school, high school, watching those movies.
Oh, yeah.
And be like, wow, man, Spider-Man's finally on big screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I never would have thought in a million years it would be. And my PlayStation's bad. But really just means a lot to me. This movie just really does. I know it's pretty high for most people. A lot of you are going to be like, okay, Black Panther and some others, Thor, and but to me, this movie, it just really means a lot, and I'm so excited for the Spider-Man video game, like, just to see that done right as well. So, number 2 for me. So, go ahead, Dan the Man.
I think when it comes to Spider-Man, I guess saying poorly written was not the best choice of words. It was just, I really didn't get into the villains. That was my biggest thing. Like, the Vulture, Michael Keaton, whenever he was Michael Keaton, it was fantastic. In between Spider-Man was beautiful. The whole car scene could have been the whole movie for me, and I would have been fine with it. Like, just them just talking back and forth to each other. That was awesome.
I really enjoyed Michael Keaton in this as well. I talked more of Peter, but the villain, I felt like I loved how the Vulture was portrayed. I like how menacing it was, and I love the fact that it was for his family. He's doing this for his family. I know how you think he's typical bad guy, whatever. Yeah. I'm rich now. Yeah. So, but if you're making buku money, you're gonna keep making buku money.
Yeah. He was efficient at it, so he kept doing it.
And he really did love his family.
The second Spider-Man came along, it just like his whole plan shattered.
And in this one, they kind of hint at the Sinister Six a little bit.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing that since the Amazing
Spider-Man.
With Scorpion again, they keep doing that. But are you you want to go with number 8?
No, before we do, Amazing Spider-Man 2 sucks. Anyway, all right.
But also, for Spider-Man, they're not even in New York. Like, there's never one period, only when he's like in his house. But for the rest of it, it's always in the woods. It's always very low. It's always
they went to the grocery store. It was in Queens.
Right. Well, they filmed it in Georgia, so there was no swinging through the city. There was no.
They filmed in Georgia.
They filmed in Georgia. There was no key points.
They fooled me.
There was no.
Yeah, they always do that.
They missed the heart of it.
The thing is, I liked those moments with Cap where he was like he was the tape instructor.
The PSA message.
And they have a bond because they're both from New York. He's from Brooklyn. Yeah. And he's from Queens or whatever. So I like that bond, and I like how he kind of looks up to Iron Man and Cap.
Yeah.
You know, I like that a lot.
And the beginning also when they introduce him and he's going through Civil War with the handheld. That
was
awesome.
really cool.
That's funny.
Shit.
He's so fanboying.
That was
Yeah.
totally
He's
how a
doing
high
that.
schooler would handle
He's
Yeah,
doing
that.
that for
that's what-
YouTube.
They captured that very well, like
Yeah.
him just fanboying out of everything.
Yeah.
Because that's how a teenager would act if
Yeah.
you were interacting with these
And I liked
characters.
about it. They really hit that home for me that he was actually a child. You know, he's still
Yeah.
learning. He wants to prove himself so bad, but he's not there yet.
It was a great movie, but every Spider-Man movie from now on is going to be took with a little bit of salt, a little grain of salt, because Sam Raimi did it so good. He made it look and feel like the comic books.
Yeah.
So now everyone, they're going to do a little different look, which is going to be, their own thing, which is fine. But
Yeah.
Sam Raimi did it so accurate to what it should look like, what it should be like,
Well,
that everything else
explain
will be.
Man Spider 3 then, Dan.
I,
That's not Venom, Topher Grace.
but I liked it. Well, I mean, there's a whole conversation there.
Yeah, I know. All right, well, we'll get on to this.
Oh,
What? Moderator.
Spider-Man is not a whiny bitch.
I mean, you can argue that,
He
but
got really emo. He did.
it was
But okay,
it wasn't
hold
his
on,
movie though.
Let's go with
it was Sony's
let's
movie.
Go, let's move on.
We're gonna have
Number
a whole
8.
conversation.
I
on
will
that.
say this though. I'll go on record and say I prefer. If I had a gun in my head, Spider-Man 3 over Amazing Spider-Man. Even the first one, because they
Oh,
just.
Spider-Man 3 was
Another
still a pretty good movie.
topic for another day. Let's go. Number
That's the
8.
next podcast. Okay, number 8, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. All right, so
Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Okay.
So, yeah, this is another one that was just like kind of mixed. You know, people either liked it or didn't like it. They thought it was
Out of
weaker than
this
the
summer's
sequel.
releases or last summer's releases, a lot of people think this was the weakest one
Right.
compared to Thor and Black Panther.
But dude, it was
But
just,
go ahead.
it
Go
was
ahead.
so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
I love these characters. I never thought I would even like these characters. When the first one came out, that was the most apprehensive MCU film. I was like, wait.
That was such a huge risk
yeah,
for them.
that was a
Big
huge
time.
risk, and
Big
it paid
time.
off.
Even
So-
Ant-Man was a big risk. Like a lot of
Right.
the characters they took.
And
were
I
big
think
risks.
it was the proper.
Black Panther,
Mhm.
huge risk.
Yeah, I think it was just the proper build up to the original.
Yeah.
And I like that we got to explore more of Star-Lord's past, like his father, and all that. It just made it more personal. And it's just, I love these characters. These
Yeah.
characters are just great. Rocket Groot, all these freaking. It's so funny too, by the way.
I like
It is
Mantis
hilarious.
a lot. Mantis a lot. Was
I think I laughed more here than in Ant-Man. Ant-Man is funny.
I was
But
out
here
of
it's so
everybody.
funny.
You figured, you figured Chris Pratt
Yeah.
or Rocket Raccoon would have the funniest lines, but it ended up being Dave Bautista.
Oh,
and
Drax.
Drax has the best lines in the whole
He
movie.
almost steals the whole movie. It's so funny. He's like, you just told everyone your deepest darkest secret. Oh, like.
And him palling around with Mantis was hilarious.
Yeah,
because
he's like,
yeah.
you are
I'm
hideous.
visualizing
Yeah.
kissing you right now and throwing up in my
Yeah,
mouth.
I love that. That
Yeah.
was so great. And then not only that, but this movie surprised me. Spoiler at the end with Yondu.
Yeah.
That was so
I
emotional.
was not expecting that at all.
That actually got to me. I
Yeah.
was not expecting that with this
I was so
character.
shocked about that, to be honest with you. Really, really shocked about it.
I was just shocked in general that I actually really felt for his character.
Because I like Michael Rooker a lot. Like,
Yeah.
he's really good.
Yeah, so
Actor.
when that scene hit, I was like, whoa, this is really deep.
Yeah.
Like, I actually felt that. So.
What about you, Dan? Where's Volume 2 at?
Volume 2 is all the way at number 18 now. This one's gonna be. This one is number 12 for me, very in the middle.
Uh-huh.
It was one of those kind of like Avenger type movies where the first one set such a bar for it that this one
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
only could disappoint. And not saying that because I'm always
Not
gonna
in a
keep an
negative
open
way. I know what you
mind.
mean. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean.
But it was so like I don't like it when a movie piggybacks so much on the first movie's bits. Like this one was
Yeah.
almost every bit that they did in the first movie that was like a big killer line or something.
Yeah.
It made its way to the second movie, which I want them to be a little bit more original to
I see
kind of
what you're
progress to
saying.
the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
spot.
yeah.
It was a good movie though. It was
Yeah.
a lot of visuals. I feel like the barfing alien in the beginning might be a little bit too much visuals, but
Which one?
the one that
The
barfs
alien?
Yeah.
The beginning,
like
right?
that's a little too much visuals, but it's very like visual oriented kind of
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
It was good written, but I feel like things like that bug me that they piggyback way too much off of the first movie and then get to original. What?
Good written, well written.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just talking.
Mr.
I'm
Moderator.
like when you read and you don't like listen to yourself.
Eric is grumpy grouchy today. I like it. I
Yes.
like it. He's
You
on
gotta have him
point.
as a moderator every day.
He's on point. He's like,
He's
you
like,
guys suck.
hey,
He's
hey,
not-
get your shit together. He's like, get your shit together,
See,
Dan.
Because he's not taking any sides. He's playing right to the
Yeah,
middle.
For me, Volume 2 is number 10 for me. I actually like
close to
this
mine.
one better than the first movie.
Yeah.
I think this one is a better movie to me. I understand your piggybacking, but I feel like this one did it better. The weight was better with Star-Lord finding his dad, Daddy, and then what his dad really is and how ego really works and what he did to his mother and the weight to it. I felt like it was really, really, really much more significant.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. This wasn't as a big of a risk as the first movie because they're a hit now. They're a band. A lot of people say the second album is always the weakest. Usually the original album's always.
That's tough. It's a tough.
And a lot of people would say the same thing with this soundtrack. The soundtrack is much.
Oh yeah.
Like
forgettable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I mean, it has great songs still.
When they
but
played the father-son song, I teared up a little, man.
The first one had a
better soundtrack, I would say. Yeah, absolutely. To me, they're so close. These movies are so good. It's like you got to watch them back to back.
Yeah.
To really.
They do. They take place 3 months. Apart. So.
But to me, I did like this one better than one. It is a really fun movie. I liked the cast. I'm very excited. I was, very much like how everybody was with the first movie. We'll explain the first movie a little bit later.
Yeah, when we get to it.
Yep. But I really enjoyed this. The weight I felt was really good. Does it have a really big impact in the MCU? Not too much, really. I would say that's probably the only negative for me, where the first one had bigger weight because of the stone and the gem.
Yeah,
where
it's
this
his own
one
thing.
is kind of him just.
Thanos actually has lines in the first movie.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever really hear him
Ooh,
talk before.
yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah. But for me, it was number 10. Go ahead.
Number 7, Iron Man, the OG.
Mm.
Number 7. This was tough, but this movie has aged very well.
Yeah.
You could go back, you can watch it. It's so fun. It's the best Iron Man. Easily, it's the best Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. he was born to play Iron Man, dude.
I was born to be Iron Man.
No, you are.
Man Iron. I'm a new Man Iron.
But it's just one of those roles that you just can't see nobody else playing. Dude.
Yeah, he fits Iron Man to a T.
Can I just say how humble it is for you to say you're going from golden to iron?
Yeah,
I think you need your own.
I change. I am golden.
Yeah.
How humble.
Iron God.
But what about Iron Man for you? What's it on your list?
Over me?
Yeah. Or are you?
No. You can go.
It is number 4.
Ah, okay.
Top 5, huh?
It's top 5, one of the best. This one is one of those, I would say, going away from the MCU.
Just as a standalone movie?
Like Spider-Man, the first one, was one of those movies where it was a superhero movie, but it took it seriously.
Yeah.
It wasn't the cheesy. If you even look at the old X-Men, they were a little more serious, but they still have the cheesy lines and all that stuff.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Spider-Man took that out. Spider-Man really made it feel like the comic. It was so true to what it was. For Iron Man, it was such an interesting movie. It was a real risk. I mean, that's one of those true risk takers.
Yeah, when Marvel started this journey, it was a huge risk.
Right.
A lot of these characters were a huge risk at the time. Now they're all like,
especially thinking before the movie. I remember my dad talking to us. And he's like, I don't really remember Iron Man all that much. He used to read the comics.
And a lot of people were concerned that Robert Downey was going to be Iron Man. I remember when this movie first came out, a lot of people that I knew personally, I don't know, he looks the part, but a lot of people had a lot of reservations on superhero movies. But this movie
brought his charm, man.
Set the tone and set the pace for the MCU.
And it's one of those things.
And then they took a step back with the Incredible Hulk after this. But then they got back on track.
It was the creative team. It was Jon Favreau is fantastic.
Yeah, I like him. I like him in the movie too as Happy. He's funny as shit as Happy.
He has a good mind when it comes to him and how Robert Downey Jr. works. He can let him be him, It was great.
Iron Man for me.
Pretty movie too for the time that it came out.
It's number 5.
Beautiful.
It's number 5. This movie has huge weight in the MCU as we discussed. It is the start of the MCU. I agree with Nightface and Dan. This movie holds up today. It was taken very seriously. I liked all the characters in this, even the villain. I know a lot of people don't like the villain.
It's probably the only downside.
But I liked, that it was a trusted friend.
Right.
To him. It betrays him because of the Iron Man suit.
I guess it wasn't a bad villain, but it was poorly executed.
Yeah, I like how they had the OG Iron Man suit in this before he gets the upgraded one.
Right.
It's more stylish and
Yeah.
stuff. I like how they took the weapon,
Well, not that
the weapon
OG.
making seriously, and they made that much more tone setting in the Iron Man 2 and 3, where you felt really bad that he was making weapons. That
Talk
killed
about getting
people.
PC.
Yeah, right.
They couldn't stop hugging
How
trees
dare
for that
you!
movie.
Like, yeah. But this movie is incredible. It's top 5 easy for me.
Okay.
I almost wanted to put it number 3, but I couldn't. Because there's another one I'm really biased about.
Right.
It's also very impressive because 75% of the movie was improvised.
We never asked you.
Thank you,
Moderator.
Mr.
See,
Moderator.
my number 1 holds very true to that one also, but we'll get there when we get there.
Go. This is number.
No, this was number 7. But guys, we're gonna tread back a little bit. I fucked up. Iron Man 2 was number 14. I don't think I mentioned that one.
Oh,
Which
you
one?
forgot about Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2 was number 14.
We'll talk about it. Go.
Okay, so
Not much to talk about there, but
I like it better than Iron Man 3. It's a more entertaining movie for me. It's better. Yeah, sure. They kind of overshadowed Iron Man's story with building blocks for the MCU because they had more shields and everything. Well, come on, you got Black Widow here. Come on.
Yeah, I like the introduction of Black Widow.
Come on.
I feel like they could have introduced the alcoholism a lot better.
Yeah, and then the
Because
fight.
he just went crazy. He's like, oh, Pepper, you can have this, blah, blah. I know you're dying and shit, but give me the money.
But see, him being poisoned by the arc reactor
Yeah.
was more compelling than whatever PTSD storyline they were trying to go for.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Because that was just glossed over easily. Like, he has this, which was like, okay, I like that. You know, he has that from the Avengers, and then whatever, you know, they just toss it aside. It was just a throwaway plot point.
I agree. Mandarin is the best character in the
No,
MCU.
he wasn't. but in Iron Man 2, like, you know, Don Cheadle as Rhodey, I like him better in the role
Yeah.
as Rhodey, so that was a plus. And then, you know, in
I
the
thought he was a
Expo-
great war machine for sure.
And then they have some good action sequences, like in the Expo, like Jon Favreau, the way he directs it, like when they're just shooting up all the, you know, drones.
The road drones, yeah.
That's more memorable to me. They're in the suits, they're doing it. It's a great team up. Better than Iron Man 3. So.
What about you? Where is Iron Man 2?
that is probably the quintessential waste of kind of a good bad guy. Mickey Rourke went to
Yeah, but where's it at? Where's it
a
at?
Russian prison. Oh, that's at number 16. It's way up there. Mickey Rourke went to a Russian prison for 6 months to really get the character down.
Yeah.
And they never touched it. And he's said in interviews that he was so resentful for that because he's wasted a good chunk of his life for a character that really didn't have that
really
much
matter.
development, you know?
Yeah. But you gotta admit, the best part was, hey, I want my bird. Where's my bird? Where's my bird? I want my bird.
I don't remember that too much. You remember that?
Yeah, that was a big plot line. because he
Yeah,
wanted
this bird.
Yeah.
From Russia. He's like,
Yeah.
I want my bird.
I think I kind of remember when you say it like that. Like, I've seen the movie a good handful of times. It's a little forgettable for me. It's up there
For
in
me,
16.
it was also number 16. Pretty low on the list. I feel like
You guys have not agreed yet, but I've agreed with both of you on a couple of them.
Okay.
I think we're all gonna agree with number 1 though. I think we're all gonna.
No.
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 Oh,
No.
No, we don't.
Okay.
No, we don't.
No.
No, we don't.
No.
Okay, so it's okay. We'll get there when we get there. Okay. Well, Iron Man 2 was pretty low on the list to me because I feel like it's a very I enjoy the movie. I like watching the movie, but it's kind of a poor sequel. Kind of like Thor: Dark World. It's kind of a poor sequel to Thor, where they have this great character and, like you said, they kind of have this looming shadow of Avengers. Hanging over the head, and they kind of have to just kind of get through this movie just to get to the fun stuff.
Right.
The alcoholism thing is a big part in his comic book arc, and I feel like they could have handled it a little bit better. With this, I do like the fact that the arc reactor is killing him. The stuff that he thought was saving his life, saved his life, and is now killing him. I like that a lot. Like the introduction of Black Widow. Like more of the introduction of the Avengers Initiative with Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Thought they handled that really well. Like you said, Mickey Rourke is kind of forgettable.
Yeah.
To me, this is where Marvel still didn't do trailers right, because that War Machine and Iron Man fight at the end was spoiled completely in the trailer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like they gave it away. Then they kind of figured out how to make trailers.
I would disagree with that though, because the first Iron Man trailer was fantastic.
I do like that.
Yeah.
But this is what
But
I
they
meant when they took like a step back.
They were
yeah.
giving it away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave it away.
And they did that for a
Showing
good time.
too
They still
much.
kind of do that.
Where Jon Favreau was back, and I like him back. I like the fact that his dad was like, Tony, you're my greatest invention ever.
I like that.
And he cried. But no, I like that a lot. I like that he kind of always resents his dad for liking Iron Man. He always talked about Iron Man. Iron Man. Not Iron Man. I'm sorry, Captain America.
Captain America.
Yeah, his dad helped invent Captain America's shield. He's a big fan of Cap. Everybody was. So he kind of resents Cap in that way. We'll talk about that a little bit later on down the line. But I like how they kind of introduced that plot line kind of in this early movie in Iron Man 2. But could have just been a little bit better. Like, I still feel like Iron Man 1 is much better. And I'll disagree a little bit. I think Iron Man 3 is much better than 2.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright, so
let's go
we're
to
at
number 6.
6.
Yeah, okay, number 6. This is hard. This is when it gets hard for me. Thor Ragnarok, number 6.
Okay, yeah.
I absolutely love this movie. This is the best Thor movie, easily. It was visually stunning. I like where they took it. Taika Waititi, he just nailed it, like with the tone.
I love New
everything.
Zealanders, man. They're great.
He's just okay, Mr. Moderator. We gotta. But yeah, man, this took
Seriously,
Thor...
if I turn off your phone,
Oh, my bad. Since I don't have my phone on me. Go ahead.
But yeah, they took Thor in a fascinating new direction. I like that we got to explore more of the cosmic universe. Like, you got to go to this crazy world. I like how they integrated a little bit of Planet Hulk.
Yes,
into
I
this.
did too. I really enjoyed
So
that
was
a lot.
that was great to see. We got Hulk. We got all these fantastic characters. More of Loki. More of everything, really. So, and Hela, I think she's one of the best MCU
Yeah, I thought
villains.
she was a great villain.
I think she's one of the best MCU villains. She's so damn good, so damn fine. Yes.
Well, you know how I feel about women being in power, so clearly they
Oh
like
yeah.
that shit.
We're just skip over Dan.
Where is Thor Ragnarok? Thor 3 on there.
It starts up my top 5 list at number 5.
Ah!
Thor
Nice.
Ragnarok was definitely one of those surprise movies for me. I didn't think anything of it coming into it, and I really, really liked it coming out.
Yeah.
Which is my favorite kind of movie. Super rewatchable because it's super fun. It's got amazing characters, and I can't pronounce the director's name, but you did
Waititi.
right.
Taiki Waititi.
Okay, I thought he did a good job, and then when he said it, he made
Korg
you sound
is
like
the
you can't
better-
say it.
The best character of the MCU.
Right, Korg was fantastic. He
Hey,
was.
go out in the spaceship, Mike. Let's
Hey,
go.
fella, you want to hop the spaceship?
It was like the whole Spider-Man voice.
Yeah.
You did not get that from him. Like
Yeah.
he was so high pitched, but it was like you got past it pretty quick.
It was
The
very
whole-
jarring
the
at
tone of
first
it.
because you're thinking Korg's
Right,
going to have a
it's
deep,
big, yeah.
That-
thing voice.
That's what
and then
made
you
it
get
so
this,
funny.
like-
They had
and it was
that-
so good. It worked
Yeah.
so
Talk
well.
to Dad, and he was like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, he likes Dad.
Yeah.
He sounded like the Geico commercial lizard. That's what he
Yeah,
sounded like.
and I like with Meek at the end where he's like Meek's dead, bro. I've been holding his dead body this whole time on the bridge.
Yeah. He just has him here. He's like, Nick's dead. Oh, what was your question again, bro? Loved
Good-
it.
good movie,
Loved
man.
it. Loved
For
it.
me, yeah, this is pretty high up too. This is my third favorite of all time. This is my wheelhouse. I mean, this is comedy. The best pure form of comedy ever is this this movie.
Your PlayStation talks to you a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can leave mine on all day and it won't do
His
anything. for me.
PlayStation is
He's
possessed.
really angry right now. I'm not
possessed.
gonna lie. But it's my wheelhouse through a T. I was so excited even from the trailers. I know a lot of people got got like Guardians of the Galaxy vibe because of the music and stuff.
Right.
It was handled really well. Jeff Goldblum was great in
Oh,
this
Jeff
movie.
Goldblum's awesome.
He's great in everything.
Hulk and Hulk and Thor as like a buddy cop movie. They're kind of like we're going to these planets together.
Which
I kind
is
of
so
like
weird
that.
because they don't really have a connection before the movie.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I like how they humanized Hulk. They let Hulk talk a little bit. He got to express his
Yeah.
feelings
Yeah.
a little bit, and he got to talk. And I liked that a lot. I liked how they incorporate, like you said, Planet Hulk. Very little, like sprinkle Planet Hulk, but it worked. Right seasoning for this movie. Valkyrie was funny how she introduced herself, and where they formed the Revengers. I kind of like that. Korg was great. He was handled so well. Taika Waititi just knows comedy through and through. And if you listen to any of his interviews, man, he is great. He's such a charming individual. And how the MCU were so, you know, forgiving and letting him do this, you know, taking Thor in this weird direction in a lot of people's eyes. He's always had that funny, you know, witty humor. He's like, oh, I'm very charming and I'm funny that way. Yeah. But it works for Chris Hemsworth a lot. But I really like how he got to shine in this movie. Everybody, I really feel like, unlike Thor 2, Thor really grown a lot in this movie. You really understand. I kind of like how his dad was like, oh, they were in Norway or something? Like, it's like, it's just what, you know, wherever your home's at. You know.
Ragnarok.
Oh, they got Doctor Strange in there a little bit too.
Yeah, and I like how
he's
the MCU. Yeah, I like that, you know, a little bit. I like how
them treating Loki like crap.
I like I like the MCU where they kind of, you know, they kind of do this with all the movies now. It's like everybody's pounding around together. Yeah. There's cool cameos you see. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But man, this movie just hits me right where, you know, I love it the most, just comedy, and it's the purest form of comedy.
The best bit also.
But the action was great. Yeah. It was fantastic.
The bridge sequence.
The scene with Bruce Banner when he jumps out of the plane.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, he's going to turn into the Hulk. I love how he just slaps the bridge.
Yeah, that's so funny.
that was so great.
That is one of the best moments.
That was so great. And I kind of even like how this movie ended, where, you know, like, how are they going to finish off Surtur, and they just kind of let Hela and Surtur fight off. You know what? Asgard's gone. We're gonna find our new home together. Right. And I kind of even like how they changed the fact that, you know, Mjolnir is a big part of the the hammer is a big part of the comics. The comics is kind of like a father figure to him. He talks to him and stuff. I like the fact that even though they killed him, they killed the hammer off, that he had the power within him the whole time. I kind of like that. A lot of people, I thought, were going to hate that, but a lot of people really seem to accept that.
That's what I appreciated so much about this movie. It went in a bold new direction. It took a lot of risks that paid off. It really worked.
Out. It just worked. Like Marvel's just hitting their stride so beautifully. And Dan the Man, in one of our earlier podcasts, we had this conversation. And we're like, when is the train ever going to slow down? But I don't think it's ever going to. Like, they just keep getting better.
Are they still making giant Western movies? You know?
So, number 4 is this number...
No, this was number 6.
Okay, so number 5 for you.
We're getting to top 5. Number 5 is this guy right there. T'Challa's head. Bring him over.
Black Panther.
Black Panther. Yes, Black Panther. Alright. Wakanda forever. This is really rough because I wanted to put Ragnarok in my top 5. I have to go with Black Panther, man. It was so emotional, deep storytelling, which I really liked. I like how they utilized like the African culture in Wakanda. It never stepped over line. It was never too PC or anything like that.
No, it wasn't at all.
At all, which I appreciated. And Killmonger to me is the number 1 best MCU villain because you really understand his motivations.
I like Michael B. redeemed himself.
Yeah, you really understand his mindset.
We'll never forget Fantastic Four, Michael B.
You can't hold that over him.
But
the paycheck didn't bounce, so he was
it worked. This movie worked so much because because of the director Ryan Coogler. He's worked with Michael B. Jordan in Creed, in Fruitvale Station, and just the way it was handled. Sure, the CGI was my biggest problem. Was the CGI and the third act, like the final fight, kind of?
Yeah, I can see it a little bit. For sure.
I remember we talked about this in the podcast. Yeah. And the CGI looked like Spider-Man 3-ish at some
parts.
parts.
A little bit, yeah.
It was a little jarring, but the whole story was just so great. Because I was just fascinated with T'Challa as a character in Civil War because he had that whole like revenge story arc, and then it turned to redemption.
I like how you bring that up because how they introduced him in Civil War was so perfect. The same thing with Spider-Man. Like they set up their movie so perfectly in Civil War that it was fantastic. But this movie, I kind of liked how he was. Well, go ahead.
No, go for it.
No, tell them on your list.
Oh well, Black Panther makes its way at 10th, starting at the top 10. Okay. It wasn't one of my favorites. It was a good movie. I couldn't get into it.
Racist.
I couldn't get into it because I feel like all the fun stuff for Black Panther was done in Civil War. That was the real kind of emotion based part of his story.
I'll let you hold it while you talk.
The talking head.
Yeah.
There we go, talking head.
Yeah.
That should be a segment.
Man,
Yeah.
Oh, it is a band, isn't it? Yeah. But Michael B. Jordan was probably the highlight of the movie. He was, I agree with him, probably one of the best, if not the best villain of the entire movie so far.
Mm-hmm.
I found myself, this is kind of an issue with Black Panther for me.
Okay.
I felt like I was cheering for Michael B. Jordan more than I was for Black Panther for sometimes. He was
I
making
know.
bad
No,
person.
he was making some
I
valid points.
totally understand that point of view. That's what I really liked about this movie. You like out of all the villains, you really understand why he's doing that.
Right.
Why
It
came back.
makes sense.
He does have a claim to the throne.
Right.
You know, so
Well, it's not even that. It's the whole,
I do
what are
too,
they
guys,
doing?
But did I go
yeah,
kill
with
you?
the
because
throne.
they weren't sharing their technology. It
It
felt,
was
felt
very
selfish.
Yeah.
Like
It
they
was.
were
He was making good
privileged.
points.
Yeah.
But I didn't like also, for me, and this is just in general, or general rule for movies, I don't like primitive movies. I don't like movies that they're doing stones and rocks and stuff. And I feel like they have so much technology, and there's a whole period of the movie where they go away from that. They do kind of old school African tribes, which is fine. It's just not my cup of tea. I prefer them shooting each other with lasers and stuff. But then again, I'm a child, so.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand where you're coming from, but I think that's why I liked this so much. It was so refreshing to watch, something new, because we're so used to seeing Guardians of the Galaxy. Thank you. Guardians of the Galaxy, we just came from Thor Ragnarok, from this epic space adventure.
Yeah.
So to see it like grounded and doing these like ritual trials and who gets to be king, it was so fascinating to me.
mean,
I
it
was
was
just
different.
I can see how people would be into it.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
I
not
was
my
I was so gravitated to that. Like, wow, like Marvel's really going here.
Right.
They're going in this direction that I just really enjoyed it.
And much like I don't like.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he was kind of like James Bond, and Suri was kind of like his Q.
Okay.
He's making.
Oh, she was the best character.
Yeah, she was
Sure,
great.
that's another thing. The
Had some
supporting
great
characters.
character.
The supporting characters were one of the best.
Yeah, they're all Michonne from Walking Dead. I don't know her name.
Okoye.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it Deshaun?
Well, I don't know her real name either. Like,
Oh,
I forgot her.
Oh, what's her real name? Denied.
Yeah, she
Guerrero.
was fantastic. She was the bodyguard.
She actually was the only one who I couldn't get into.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Interesting.
She had a little bit too much Michonne. She couldn't remove herself from that character for me.
I kind of agree with you guys with Killmonger a little bit, but personally to me, I get his gripe and I understand his gripe, but I love the fact that T'Challa was trying to make it right. You know, where he
true.
He saw his point. He wanted to learn from his forefathers from him when his dad died, and where his dad did a wrong thing, leaving his
the sins of the father.
Yeah, leaving his nephew to rot like that a little bit. But I liked how they handled that. I was really shocked how they killed off one particular character. We won't say. I thought he would stick around a little bit more.
I know who he is.
Yeah,
You gotta explain it to me. I'm gonna be lost. But if it's too spoiler, I mean,
This
we've
is
already
spoiler,
found
yeah.
every
You guys should be
spoil.
caught up.
Well,
right
I
now.
was shocked they killed off Claw, because Claw is the main villain all the time. Usually, he always sticks around in the comics. I figured he would. I really like Andy Serkis a lot too. I think he's.
I get that you would see that as a negative, but I think it actually.
I don't think it
enhanced
as a negative. I'm not saying anything.
Oh, okay,
negative.
but
I'm
saying,
telling
like-
what I liked about them. I was just
because
shocked.
I enjoyed him being a villain.
Yeah,
But
he was
then,
great.
like, it was like, okay, if I had to sacrifice Claw for Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger.
Yeah,
it was,
I don't like. I
Easy
get
choice.
Killmonger.
Yeah,
I
choice.
like Killmonger. He served his purpose, but I don't know. I don't hold him as a high standard as the other.
because
MCs.
that
great. He
movie
was
for
good.
me went from like okay, this is like a 7 or 8 to like a 10 once he got to Wakanda, Killmonger. Once he got there and they made it personal, they integrated their backstories. That's when
he
it was like,
became king for a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
I really
That's-
You could
that-
feel for him.
yeah, that's when you really feel for him, especially that line at the end he says. It always gets me when he's like, "Oh, just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors," like that was some deep shit.
Yeah, but I'm like, you big baby.
It was just for me. The hardest thing to get over
it.
The hardest thing to get over was when I was, I saw that Michael B. Jordan was, Killmonger?
Yeah,
Killmonger.
Killmonger. Yeah.
Killmonger, when he was making such great points,
Yeah.
then I'm almost looking at Black Panther like, oh, well, then he's wrong,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
couldn't get,
I think that was
I
the
couldn't
point.
cheer
though.
for him.
I think that was the point, though. I think that's what they were.
Well, for me,
trying.
I was so conflicted I couldn't get into it. That's why it's so high on my list. But I mean, still a good movie. I mean, still.
I thought it was a
fun
fantastic. Like I thought it was a great way to start off this year. Infinity War is going to be an awesome, next week event for us as well.
Yeah,
So-
but that movie really just opened up like the gateways to everybody going into the MCU.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Well, the
that
thing
really-
is, remember how we're talking about like passing of the torch a little
Right.
bit? You know, like maybe Thor won't get another movie, Captain America might not get another movie, Iron Man not get another movie. Like they're passing it on to this guy and a few others, you know, and they can carry the MCU now. I believe. I really like. They're trying to make a newer Avengers, and
yeah.
I see them going that route. And Black Panther, if you told me 5 years ago that he would have one of the best-selling movies ever, no, like people wouldn't get into it. But wow,
Yeah.
very powerful,
Record breaking.
very powerful,
Record
movie.
breaking. Like one of
And
the
a
highest
huge,
grossing
has
films.
huge weight, huge significance in the MCU
I wanna see
because
what theater you
it's
went
kind
to.
of like the passing of the torch
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
So go to the next one. We're
Number 4.
yep,
Guardians of the Galaxy, first one.
volume 1. All right.
This movie, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, how the hell is this even gonna work? You just threw Charles' head at the moderator.
Oh my God, he's bleeding. No.
Just
Go
like
ahead,
Levi.
You okay there, fella? You okay there, fella?
You can continue.
Bringing a brother down, just like Levi.
Yeah. Right.
Just throwing him like your plaything.
I know.
That's right.
But anyway, like when I first saw the trailers, I was like, how is this gonna work? This just feels so off, like so disconnected from the MCU. I'm not familiar with these characters.
Big
Are they
time
going-
risk.
Are they going for like a copycat Star Wars kind of thing? What is? I went in. I absolutely loved all the characters.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so high up. Because it's the biggest risk-taking Marvel movie, in my opinion. Because it's like all these characters you're unfamiliar with. Like, who the hell are these Guardians? You go in, you're blown away. You know, even from the opening scene when you see Star-Lord's mom die, you know, cancer, that just broke my heart.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm invested. I want to see where this goes. And then you meet Groot, you meet Drax, you meet Gamora.
And it's
Yeah.
such a different Marvel movie too, because it's a lot in space. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
a lot,
you don't-
exactly.
It's not grounded on Earth or anything. You're all over the place.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
galaxy.
yeah. So I really appreciated that. It has some of the best character like arcs and moments. You know, with we are Groot.
Yeah,
You
I like
know,
that.
Freaking gets me every time, man. It just and the humor. Humor was so
Yeah.
funny. That soundtrack, one of the best fucking soundtracks. I'll always listen to that soundtrack every time. So
It is like Guardians 1 is such a fantastic ride. Such a huge risk, like you guys said. Like, and they pulled it off so well. Like you said, most people didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy are. They're basically the Avengers in space, basically. And it's really cool to see them. Now I can't wait to see both teams together now.
So where would he rank to you?
We'll go with Dan.
Okay, Dan. What number?
For me, it's gonna be number 7.
Okay.
And mine, remember, my list is all about rewatchability. Probably
Uh-huh.
one of the more rewatchable movies.
Yeah.
Has so many good, funny bits.
Mhm.
It's always interesting. Always keeps you going. It doesn't feel. It's one of those movies that doesn't feel too long, so you can always just kind of
Yeah.
rewatch it. Where the second one feels a little bit longer. There's a
Right.
lot of downtime with that. But
You just don't like Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, back man.
I missed something.
Mr.
Yeah, you don't
Moderator,
remember
you want to
anything.
help out
No,
Dan?
I don't remember.
You don't remember shit, but go ahead. Continue.
But
Yeah.
but it was a really good one. It was one of those also where like I saw the trailer, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it seems whatever.
Exactly.
The,
They were like-
song was catchy, and my dad really wanted to watch the movie. Like I really didn't care that much. I know I liked some of the characters. Rocket Raccoon is just one of my favorite ideas of a character more than a character, but I just love him. And when I saw the movie, it was one of those where like I just enjoyed it the whole way through. One of those sleeper movies for me where I didn't think it was gonna be anything great, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
For me, it seems pretty low on the list, but I really do love this movie. But like I said, I like number 2 a little bit more. It's number 11 on my list.
Whoa! Get him out of the room!
Whoa!
Get him out of the room!
Excuse me, Mr. Moderator, escort him out.
And don't take it in a bad way, because I really like this movie. This movie's fantastic. When you start getting to the top 10, top 11, it was like, man, like, what am I going to... Like, literally, they just traded places, like, Guardian 1 and Volume 2 for me. Like,
Right.
Volume 2 made the top 10, because I liked it a little bit more than this first one.
Yeah.
When they first announced this movie, I was like, holy crap, this is going to be a big risk for them. The
Yeah,
fact
so
that they're veering off this much with a bunch of unknown characters
Yeah.
in a lot of people's eyes. I knew who Gamora was. I knew who Groot. I knew who Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon's been in
We
Ultimate
get
Marvel
it.
vs.
You're
Capcom.
better than us.
Yeah, I am. I am a golden guy.
That's I knew him
and,
too from Marvel vs. Capcom.
What happened?
I knew him from Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah,
Rocket Raccoon.
Rocket Raccoon. He's great character. Groot's a great character. Gamora's a great character. But I was really shocked about the casting of this movie. This was one of the first movies ever where their casting was like, holy crap, are you serious? You're casting these people?
Yeah.
Dave Bautista and, Chris Pratt, the fat guy from Parks and Recreation. Like the fat, funny guy.
I disagree. He was husky. He was not fat.
I think people do that a little bit too much with WWE people. They are actors. Like, first
Yeah,
and
you're right.
foremost,
That's what
whenever
they
they're in the movie, they're like, why are you putting them in? Because they're
Oh,
actors.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why.
Yeah. But no, it was just a huge role, and you didn't see Marvel do this now. But at the time, it was really like shocking. But man, wow, did all of them pull it off? Chris got in such great shape. He talked about that experience. Drax was probably one of my favorite characters,
dude.
ever.
His lines in the movie.
Yeah,
Like,
I love this line where they're getting in this. They go into the ship with Ronan's ship, and there was like this intimate moment between. He's like, Tree, you're my friend. Star-Lord, you're my friend. Green Whore, you're my friend. To Gamora. She's like, shut the hell up.
And he blasts Nebula. He's like, nobody talks to my friends like that.
Yeah.
I feel like actually Drax was a little forgettable in the first one. And
he's much more of a standout in number 2.
Rocket Raccoon and
Groot was the standout in the first one.
Well, also Rocket Raccoon and who's the main character? What's his name? Finn, right?
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord? Yeah.
Finn, from Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
His name's something like that, right? Like Flynn or something like that?
Yeah, Rose was in here too, by the way.
Anyway, so Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord, like they're
they
they were the real stealing all the scenes.
Yeah.
Anyway, go.
But I really, I was blown away. I was so shocked how well this movie was. I was down for day one to watch it though, but I was just shocked how well they did it, how well all of them acted, how all the characters, even the goofy ending where he's just like dancing.
Oh, that was the best.
And Ronan's like, what the hell are you
movie
doing?
was-
Dance off, bro.
The movie
What
was
are you
very emotional, but that was the only scene that almost got me.
And,
It was so
but I
happy.
liked, like the reason why he didn't die when he grabbed the stone. We found out in Volume 2 because he's part of Ego.
That was such a
was
great
cool.
moment too. Like when he grabbed it, and then Gamora's like, "Oh, take my hand."
Yeah,
and then
and
you
they
see
all
his
wake
mom.
up, yeah.
No, but you see his like mom.
Yeah.
Like when she had cancer.
Yeah.
Dude,
It was such a great movie. I know it's a little low on my list, but it was hard.
A little.
It was hard.
It's not
to
even
really
top 10.
yeah.
It was really hard.
You
Like,
can
it's
see your,
really...
the exit is right over there, alright?
Yeah.
And
Of
remember,
my house,
shh, we're
thanks.
recording.
Yeah.
Let's take all his pops. I'll take the Punisher.
So we're at number
I
3
wouldn't know
now,
what to
right?
take. What?
We're top
yeah.
3.
Okay, top three, guys. Top 3. All right, so number 3 is the Avengers.
Blasphemy! Oh.
No, dude, the Avengers. This is top 3. Top 3. All these movies in my top 3 are fucking 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
They're like almost like masterpieces to me. But
Also,
the Avengers,
explain a little bit. Like, this is the first time a big-time superhero team-up happened on live screen.
exactly.
Whoa, you're gonna get your turn.
Very true. But just the weight of it a little bit, and it was done so well. I'm like, how are they going to balance all this? But go ahead.
That's
Sorry.
exactly. You just took my words. But seeing this back in what, right? And seeing this in 2012, dude, was like a dream come true. Because this is
That was fantastic.
this is what we were looking forward
Yeah.
to. We never thought this would happen.
Yeah,
Like,
ever. I
like
never thought.
superheroes come together, the first superhero team up, and Joss Whedon did a fantastic freaking job, man. He really
did.
nailed the characters. He nailed the action. Great character moments.
Too bad he didn't do a good job on that other superhero.
No, he did. He did. You guys-
Oh, he's the only one who kind of saved it. Like,
Yeah,
you
he
can
did. He did
tell
save
the
it big
two-
time. Yeah. I was just that was a funny line. Get over it.
It wasn't.
Oh,
I don't remember any of us
it
laughing.
was a Deadpool moment.
You
I'm
were
sorry.
smiling.
I don't remember anybody laughing.
You
So,
were smiling.
It was a,
don't touch me!
but
Great.
Yeah, but yeah, man, we got a great build up with the individual solo films, and then to see
Yeah,
them
we did.
come
Right.
together, all these personalities, these personas clashing together. One of the best scenes in this film is when they're all arguing in that one room,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're just roasting each other. Like Iron Man's like, "Yeah, Rogers, you're so special. Everything special out of you came out of a freaking bottle."
Yeah.
You know, like.
Burn, and that's when we're like, burn!
Eat it, son! And Hulk, the best Hulk.
Yeah.
Mark
Right.
Ruffalo.
I
That was
love
crazy.
Ruffalo
That
as
was
Bruce
crazy.
Banner and Hulk.
Because
I thought
they
he did a
announced
great
him.
job.
I'm like, who the hell is this guy? But he fit so perfectly. I forgot about Ed Norton.
That was one of those things. Like I forgot when I was a kid. It
Yeah.
it almost you had that heart wrenching moment in the first movie because watching
Yeah.
the first movie, the Ang Lee movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, he's gonna turn. Oh no, he's
Yeah.
gonna turn salt. You had that same feeling again in this movie where like, don't turn. Like,
Yeah.
you feel stuff's about to go down if you turn.
Yeah.
He has that monster about
But I
him.
like the twist in it too, where he's like,
I'm always angry.
Yeah, he's like, I'm always angry.
Yes.
And I was like,
Whoa, spoilers!
for
Guys,
like an
sorry.
8-year-old movie, you know.
You know, someone somewhere hasn't watched it.
I know it's the one
Yeah.
comment you
You
spoiled
piece of
everything.
shit, yeah.
But go ahead. Where was Avengers on your list?
It's
Number
not.
one.
It's not only going to be what? It's not only going to be number one for this list, but also for pretty much any movie in general. This movie was
Ooh.
like the perfect collaboration of everything. They got Joss Whedon, who's like a super fan,
Yeah.
and he definitely shows it there. He picked it up, and it was probably the biggest headache you can ever think. Anybody
Oh
would ever
shit! You
have.
really did put number one.
There was
Wow.
It was number one. And there was like no script. They kept changing the script. They kept changing everything. They were making it so complicated to make this movie. And he took all the strings that they were breaking and put it together, and it all worked perfectly.
I mean, it was just the perfect fusion of everything. Really.
It was like honestly like a passion piece for him. Like he was doing it because he loved it. The second movie was a little bit more forced. For him.
Like if we were in that shoes, man, I'd be nervous as hell.
But
to
I
do
love
that.
I love
That's
stuff
like,
like that.
holy
That's
crap.
why I
You want me to put who and what?
That's why I hated it. But that's why I hated that he got so much flack for Age of Ultron, man.
He shouldn't get any flag at all.
Exactly. You owe this man everything
Again,
for giving us.
Again, like we love all these movies besides maybe Incredible Hulk. But like we love all these movies and we can watch all these movies again. It's just our opinion. We're getting close to the end. Avengers for me was number 4. It's in the top 5 for sure. Like you guys,
Your list sucks.
that's what he thinks. The weight of this and how significant this was like it was so like the excitement was through the roof. I remember opening night. I was able to go opening
crazy.
night with my dad, with all my buddies as well. I saved like 10 seats.
How did you do that? Everyone in Florida went to see that movie.
Yeah, I know. The funny, this is I was like I sat here, then I had Tim sit in another seat, and then I had like my pop sitting on like the other side, and we got that whole row for everybody, and we all watched it together, and man, just laughing, excitement.
Oh, it was great.
The way the movie is paced, everybody got spotlight, and it was just paced so well. Even the people you didn't think were gonna get good enough spotlight did, like Scarlet Joe, Black Widow, and Hawkeye. Like they were kind of just thrown into this movie, but they were handled so well, and the battle scene at the end was great.
I remember
They copped out a little bit because he didn't die. Iron Man didn't die. We know he wasn't gonna die. And then they all go eat. They all get some
That's
food
great.
up together.
Shawarma?
The greatest villain definitely was Loki in that movie. That was
And I
his
love that
shining
iconic
moment.
scene with Hulk where he's just like
We got
all the abuse.
but the scars
all the
are still
times
there.
I beat your ass.
The
it's
emotional
gone.
scars
It's
are
all,
still there.
It's all wasted.
But I remember that's one of those rare moments in a movie theater where you sit down and they're in the big New York fight scene, and I'm thinking, this movie's almost done, isn't it? I don't want it to end. Like I don't want it to be over.
I had to say
it was so again the pacing was so good. It was like, oh shit, it's over.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel with all the movies of the MCU currently. Like I'm like, oh shit, it's over.
Yeah, like Thanos would say, it's
For me, I am never like last time I was seriously bored in a theater, like we discussed many times on the podcast, was Batman vs Superman.
I feel
like
myself
I was
getting
super
bored a little bit more. But we're not talking about DC. right?
Yeah, but
let's not talk about that set place.
But it was number 4 for me. A huge significance in the MCU. It started basically the team up thing for everybody.
Yeah.
And they kind of continued it throughout all the.
Fun fact: guess who I saw it with? You know this guy. Guess who I saw it with?
What was it?
Hitler?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that was.
that was the second view.
That was a different.
You were like, you know him. I'm like, okay, who do I know? Who do we all know?
Even Jose, well, he's not into movies like that now, but before he was. Dude, it was the funniest moment. We were watching it. He was watching it for the first time. I hadn't seen it the second time. The moment when Hulk smashed Loki.
Yeah.
This motherfucker stood up in the movie theater and started doing like that little Halo teabag dance. Like, yeah. That's how hyped he was for that fucking movie. Yeah,
That's hilarious. The movie is fantastic.
Great movie.
It's great.
Yeah,
So there's no reason why it's number 4 on your list.
Right.
I thought I was disappointed with number 3, but there's no reason why.
But go ahead.
But it was tough, dude, because that's probably my most rewatchable.
I've
It's so
seen
good.
it a million
I
times.
can watch
The
it
most
anytime.
rewatchable.
That's why it's number 1.
That's exactly. But
Rewatchable.
number two.
Don't touch me. You have it number 4.
I'm gonna give you shit for number 2. Okay.
What did you put for number 2?
Captain America: Civil War.
All right.
All
okay.
right. All right. The airport scene. That airport scene. Come on, guys. The airport scene. Not only that, but it just the Russo brothers. I like how they direct
It
film.
wasn't really a war night phase. It was a civil fight.
Listen.
A disagreement.
All right. Just
Civil
because
disagreement.
Dilly dilly.
they didn't have the rights to Sony. They didn't have the rights to Fox. They couldn't fucking do it. All right. But in all seriousness,
Because the war is a stretch. I mean, it's, you know, it's only like
okay. It could have been called civil.
I'm just messing with you.
Civil
Go ahead.
battle.
I'm in your head and it's great.
I know.
I'm in your head and I'm gonna go leave.
Get out.
Yeah.
No, but for what they had, I think they executed that storyline very well, especially towards the
This
end.
movie was epic. Like,
it was
really
so fucking epic, like, and the way it built to that.
to a point where it's like I keep thinking this is Avengers 3, but it's not.
Right.
It's, you know,
Exactly.
Like,
But
go ahead.
it still feels like a Captain America movie because he's the primary
Yeah,
focus.
yeah.
You know, and I like how they integrated Bucky as the main conflict with Iron Man, with Cap, and the way it panned out in the end. We got one of those greatest like climax like showdowns with Iron Man
It was, man.
and Cap. And not only that, but I like that you got to see both sides of the spectrum here. It
Yeah.
wasn't just like, okay, you're just on Cap's side. No, you're
Right.
just on Iron Man's side. You got to see both because I was Team Cap going all the way.
Yeah, me too.
But by the end of the movie, when Iron Man asked Cap, he goes, "Did you know?" "Yes, I knew." That really shocked me. I was like, Cap, what the fuck? You know, I was conflicted. For the first time, I was conflicted with my favorite superhero, and this movie did that so well, dude. That's why it's number 2 on my
Come
list.
on,
I was
murdering
Team Iron Man
somebody's
the whole time.
parents is great, right? No, I'm joking.
But yeah, it's like, you know,
Yeah,
like,
that was really amazing. Like it really
yeah,
was.
like seeing that reveal, like, okay, his parents were killed by the Winter Soldier. Spoiler alert, okay? But yeah, it just made it so personal. I really like
What
it.
about you? Where was Captain America: Civil War?
It is all the way number 2 as well, just like him.
Yeah!
Number 2. It was
Yep.
really, really great. Just behind the Avengers. It had a very Avengers feel to it,
Mhm.
which was awesome because that's kind of what you want with a Civil War.
Yeah.
Super awesome movie. Just all the characters. This is one of those where you go to the movie that I was waiting for it to kind of be boring. I was waiting for it to slow down.
It
And it never did.
Never
It was
did.
awesome. It always kept kind of escalating to itself. It was the Russo brothers going at it again.
Yes.
And,
I politely disagree.
If anybody knows how to go at it, it would be the Russo brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it just has their
They,
families.
what they had to work with, they did such an absolutely great job. To the point where they had to like shoehorn Spider-Man in,
And that was
and it worked out perfectly.
That was
like
the
you said, that
toughest bit,
airport
though.
scene, like this is when their editing was through the roof. Like they didn't spoil anything in this movie at all.
Right.
Like everything, you're like, oh, like the airport scene, okay, that's gonna be really fun. But when you actually get to see it in the live actual movie, like, oh my god, this is a lot better than you think.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
And this movie has a lot of huge weight. Everyone's gonna kill me where I put this movie.
Where's the gun?
Totally
Yeah.
rewatchable.
Here we
Though.
go.
Like again, it was just tough to put it here, but it's number 9 for me.
You
Get outta
Get
here!
out of here! Get
Don't
out
ever watch another movie again in your life.
You are not the GG. I'm a strip you like Odin did with us before. Like, get
You
the
just
fuck
ripped
out
my
of here.
heart out.
You're-
You're just like,
you
yeah.
are going to New Mexico.
In the
young
comment
man.
section, you guys need to put in whose list was better, and then whatever your list
Yeah,
is
please
underneath
do.
it.
Please do.
His is gonna not even register.
Use hashtag Golden God Fail.
Number
put
1
that in.
trend on Twitter. No, I really love
Your
this
list
movie.
is tripping on itself.
No, I really love it. This movie is incredible.
It's so lame.
I really do, but again, for me, it's,
Oh man.
I just it's tough because this movie does have a lot of huge significance. But this list was really tough to do. But I really enjoyed this movie. How they integrated all the characters. How you felt for both sides. You're like, man, like, you know, Team Cap, Team Iron Man. You know, I liked how the editing was done in the trailers too, where he's like, you know, Bucky's my friend, and he's like, so was I.
Yeah.
And then they just beat
Yeah.
shit, like,
Yeah. I take the shield.
and you
take
felt
the shield.
that. Like,
Yeah.
you felt, I was like, oh, man. And when you actually see that full line in the movie, you're like, wow. Like, it was a really deep movie.
Yeah.
This movie really set up, you know, the split up where Avengers 3 is going to bring everybody back together a little bit to fight the greater threat.
Yeah.
It was tough. I mean, it could easily be in the top 5 as well, but I just felt like
And it should be.
those movies to
Not
me,
not top 5, top 3. But
to me.
But I'm sure Spider-Man deserved it. You know, to be number 2.
His Homecoming and.
You can put the number of swings that Spider-Man does in that movie in one hand. He doesn't swing anywhere. He just kind of holds on to things for a long
That's
time.
not what your mom said. Sorry.
That doesn't even make
That's
sense.
weird.
Yeah, that's a twofer. The moderator just has an
He's
enemy
laughing
right
his
now.
ass off.
They don't know that. They don't know
All
he
right.
doesn't love his mother.
So, what
This
is
becoming
number
a
1?
civil war right here.
What is number 1?
This is a civil disagreement.
I'm Team Dan, by the way.
What?
I'm Team Jeffrey. All the way.
Well, you're the other team. There's only
Number
2
one.
teams. You can't have Team Jeffrey. Who's Team Jeffrey?
What's
now?
number 1 for you, Nightface? What is
Number
the
one.
number 1 in your list?
Is your number 1?
Yeah.
We finally agree on something. The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
The Winter Soldier. Avengers and Civil War, man. Going back, they were probably the most rewatchable. Bro, Winter Soldier is the movie where I saw it, I was fucking blown away. I was like, whoa, this.
You're still dumbfounded. You can't even
Yeah,
find the words
I
to
can't
say
even
it.
put words to describe my first experience watching that. Because they could have gone this formulaic MCU route, like, okay, we're just going to tie this movie in, blah, 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 blah. But I like how they made it, like, so grounded. It felt the most realistic out of all of them. It felt like I was watching a spy espionage, Bourne thriller. And I like that they integrated that with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
It was so captivating. And I really like the Winter Soldier as a villain here. He was like the fucking Terminator. Every time he showed up, I was just like on edge.
Yeah, it was awesome,
oh
bro.
my God,
Bucky in this movie was great.
And another thing, this is why I justify it being number 1. I did not know that was Bucky going in.
Yeah.
Had no idea. Didn't read the comics. Knew nothing. Went in completely blind.
Knew,
So,
but it was awesome.
So when I saw that it was revealed as Bucky, it just has so much emotional weight.
The trailer was great too when he throws the shield and he just catches it.
Yeah, exactly.
In your face, Dan.
But I wasn't the only one. In the movie theater, there was people gasping.
Yeah.
When he's like, Bucky? And everybody's like, Bucky? And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
the storytelling at its finest with this movie is...
Yeah. Even Nick Fury. I like his chase sequence. Like, he had his souped up SUV. He had a freaking Gatling gun in it.
They copped out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But fun. where is Winter Soldier on your list, Dan?
All the way at number 18. No, this is going to be number 3 for me. Just behind Civil War, behind the Avengers. This is the reason why the Russo brothers got the Avengers.
Exactly.
Because they can make darn good movies. And this one was darn... And I'm telling you, the first Captain America movie is number 17. It's the second worst, in my opinion, of all the movies we have here. And the second movie...
Huge jump of movies with this one.
Second to last is the first one. Third to first is this one. So, like, that just shows you the contrast. And this is the movie that precedes it. It's so well executed. Yeah. So fun. I had...
one of the best sequels ever made.
To tell you that I had, like, no expectations. Like, I had very low to no expectations going into the movie, which is the best to go into a movie anyway.
Yeah, always keep your expectations low.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I didn't like the first one, so.
But to me, when I saw the Avengers, I felt like Cap was underutilized. Like all the Avengers outshined Cap, and I was like, whoa, come on, I want to see Cap kick ass. We got that here. Winter Soldier, he delivered.
The way they treated this movie though was very iconic and very they took it so seriously. Where this is also my number 1 is Captain America: Winter Soldier. The reason why I say this movie has the most significance out of all the MCU films because this really turned people to superhero movies being really great. And the ones the previous bottom of the list, like Thor, Captain America, Iron Man 2, Dark World, Hulk. This movie showed how a superhero movie can be. It can be really serious. And it took it to a next level. I mean, it took it so to the stratosphere and how great. And this movie, in my opinion, really started the MCU in the direction where they're gone. Where now they're just making hit after hit. They don't miss anymore on their movies.
I'm gonna disagree with what you said about the point before that one, where it was like the first one I took it seriously. I mean, Spider-Man did it a million years before.
I'm talking about MCU.
Oh well, MC.
We're talking about the MCU, not Man
But
Spider
still,
of
But
Sam
there's some
Raimi.
other MCU films before this that was
Right, Iron
serious
Man.
tone. Like
Yeah,
Iron
like
Man.
Iron Man
Yeah.
2, exactly.
Well,
but
Iron Man the first
that's
one
not
also.
what I meant by this. I meant like people taking it seriously as a like
Oh,
most people.
like having MCU be on everyone's radar
yes, it took
now. I
it to a
felt the
huge,
same way.
huge another level.
That's where it launched in the stratosphere for
Yes.
me.
I guess. I mean, Iron Man 1 should have done that already. I
No,
feel like
Iron-
not
Iron
enough
Man-
filmmakers were doing
Iron
were
Man,
Russo
like,
brothers.
was the start of
Yeah.
it, but this like launched it.
Yeah, Iron Man
I mean,
reeled me in.
the feel of it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all these movies should have already had. it, but
Iron Man
people-
was to reel you in, so Iron Man reeled me in. Avengers made me blow my load. Freaking Winter Soldier, I was like,
But the way this movie was handled, it just has huge significance.
It
in
was a
MCU.
sleeper.
It changed
It
the
definitely
MCU.
was a sleeper movie where
It
nobody
changed
saw
the
it coming.
Like
and
you
then
said,
it was
like a lot
oh,
of people were like, okay,
fantastic.
Cap 1 was okay.
Yeah.
Going into this one, it was like, all right, but
This-
man, wow.
This movie made me like Captain America's like on my top 5
Yeah,
favorite
like
superheroes because he has like where that Superman persona where he's just like, oh, I'm just a good Boy Scout, America, I gotta do it right.
but I like
But
how
you-
they handled it with this.
But the way it was done here, it was
Yeah.
like you understand why
Yeah.
he can't. He can't
he has
succumb
more
to that.
layers to him.
Yeah,
He's
like-
not just
like
a
when he
goody
has-
two shoes.
When he has
And I like
that
that.
conversation with Nick Fury about the the hell carriers or whatever, he's like, this is gonna put people scared.
Yeah.
This is projecting fear. And he's like, you need to get with the program, Cap. He's
Yeah.
like, I can't. He's like, sorry to disappoint. And I love that about him.
Yeah.
In Civil War, they carry that over.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
where
not
he's
afraid to stand his ground. when he feels
exactly.
right, and I
That's
like
what
that.
makes his character the best in the
Yeah.
MCU to me. Because he's always like, okay, I cannot compromise.
Yeah.
I can't agree with you here, and that's what I love about it so much.
Holy crap!
3 hours.
2 hours.
This is
2
Lord of the
hours.
Rings extended
We
edition.
talked for 2 hours about this.
It was a list of 18 things.
Yeah.
Of course we're gonna.
Yeah.
talk
All right,
about
so
it.
what I wanted to talk about last, we won't talk about. We'll do it off camera, but because I want to talk about it with these guys, because this podcast is really long. What we're gonna do is just gonna go through our list again and just say what was 1, 2. So my number 1 was Captain America: Winter Soldier. 2, Spider-Man: Home. I'm gonna change. Spider-Man: Homecoming is number 1 now. Oh,
Get out.
3 was Thor Ragnarok, 4 Avengers, 5 Iron Man, 6 Black Panther, 7 Ant-Man, 8 Doctor Strange, 9 Captain America Civil War, 10 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, 11 Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, 12 Iron Man 3, 13 Captain America the First Avenger, Thor 14, Avengers 2 Age of Ultron 15, 16 Iron Man 2, 17 Thor the Dark World, and 18 Incredible Hulk. And this all leads to what's behind us, Infinity War.
Infinity War, baby.
So go ahead, Dan. What was your list?
Avengers, Captain America: Civil War, Captain America: Winter Soldier, Iron Man, Thor, Ragnarok, Ant-Man, the Galaxy of the Guardians, or backwards, Doctor Strange,
Stealing my line.
Man Spider, Homecoming, Black Panther, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World, Thor, Iron Man 2, Captain America, the First Avenger, and the Incredible Hulk. Or should I say,
Smoke.
the Incredible Turd. Take
Incredible
that!
Smoke.
Dave!
Take
All
that!
right, end it out, Night Phase. What was your
Alright,
list?
so number 1, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Number 2, Captain America: Civil War. 3, Avengers. 4, Guardians of the Galaxy. 5, Black Panther. 6, Thor Ragnarok. 7, Iron Man. 8, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 9, Spider coming, whatever.
Who's coming? What?
Spider-Man's coming for you.
Well, he was trying to, but then
Yeah.
what's his name? The bad
Vulture.
guy. Yeah, the Vulture came in. And he was like, "Whoa,
You're
I'm
not
taking you.
gonna
I'm
solve
driving
my
you to
God.
prom."
I thought you were going to say Hot May walked in on him. But anyway. Number 10.
That wouldn't have
Ant-Man
stopped
is
anything.
hot now,
That wouldn't
man.
have stopped anything. It was Spider coming, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
No, hey.
well, why would that
Why are you
deter
so
it?
hot? Alright, number 10, Avengers: Age of Ultron. 11, Captain America, the First Avenger. 12, Ant-Man. 13, Doctor Strange. 14, Iron Man 2. 15, Thor. 16, Thor: The Dark World. 17, The Incredible Hulk. And 18, Regular Man fucking 3. We're done.
But thank you guys so much. Thanks to Dan the Man. Thanks to Night Phase. Check
Vote
him
your
out.
list in the comments.
Definitely check out his YouTube. Everything will be linked in the bottom. Thanks to the moderator, Eric in the background / Dalek on PSN. But this was a really fun podcast. It didn't even feel like we talked for 2 hours.
Yeah, no.
Man, this was really fun. This was Night Phase's idea. It was incredible. Did you guys have a good time?
Hey, that was alright.
I feel like your energy was a little low.
Yeah, right.
I was expecting a little more. I mean, I can almost not hear from this ear, so we should be good. This shoulder is about to come off with all the times you've been poking and punching me. But
No, this was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Did you have fun? Yeah. It was fun doing this incredible idea, Night Phase, man.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad I stole it and thought of it.
I like how you turned him into a superhero, Night Phase Man.
Well, that's
Yeah.
I said Night Phase and it
Night
sounded
that's his YouTube.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining.
Is it
Thanks
Night
for joining me. How'd you like it? What'd you think of everybody's list? And
Well, I like Dan's. I don't like yours so
yeah,
much. but-
what about you?
Same deal. I can work with his. Yours is.
Mm,
And the
I
moderator.
think we should get the
very
moderator
in the
from
middle.
Yeah.
I don't think my list was that bad.
Whose
I like
list?
my list.
I vote for
Of
the
course, you don't
moderator.
think your list
Come
is
back.
bad.
I don't like
Oh, the moderator has
It's
spoken.
fair enough. Now everybody has to die.
Yeah,
Oh.
Take all his
Whose
pops!
list did you like the best?
I don't know. It's tough, but I would say I'm closer to my brother in a lot of it, but I also disagree because he thinks of things as a writer.
Yeah.
I think of it as a fan and a comic book.
Yeah.
On this one, I did a little bit, but I mostly based it off of rewatchability. So
Yeah.
it's something that I could right now. Would I watch
Yeah.
it? I
That's a
wouldn't.
director for you.
Avengers
Fuzzy.
#1 though.
Huh?
Avengers #1 for sure.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay.
They
Well,
argue with
put,
that?
Captain America: Winter Soldier then.
Number 12.
Probably not top 5 for me.
Oh.
I just-
Really? Wow.
I
Moderator.
just think that Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy specifically, the first one,
Uh-huh.
are so important to me
Yeah.
Yeah.
that it's tough past those 3.
I've noticed you didn't mention Man Spider L. Where's Man
Oh,
Spider?
he's my favorite superhero. I can't get over a lot of
The movie. Okay, interesting. That's interesting. What did you like about my list? Because it was on number 2. Was that the biggest
No,
deal?
it's
Was
not.
Spider-Man?
It's because of where you placed good movies. Just the bad ones.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know, man. These are heavy hitters, man.
The
War,
fact you have
Avengers, Iron
Civil
Man,
War-
Black Panther.
How dare you?
Those are great.
There's Civil War right outside.
We'll let America vote.
America, vote right now.
Say who's you like best, and then put your
Well,
list.
I have some New Zealander, Aussie friends as well. I've seen
So
a
they
lot of
can-
Japanese people have watched me as well. So make the list. Make the
So,
list.
konnichiwa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make the. I looked at analytics. I saw. I saw the analytics.
They accidentally stumbled upon it, and then they were like, "Oh,
Yeah, this
Yeah.
sucks, right?
they
This
skip.
guy's list is trash.
They skip to the end, and then when you mention Spider-Man: Homecoming #2, they're like, "Fuck this."
Yeah.
They clicked on it. They were like, maybe he can be one of us. And then they're like,
I
nope. Now
can't-
he's gonna.
Golden God can't have an opinion.
No.
Shit.
Now they're just gonna splatter you on top of garbage things,
Like,
so they can
God.
try to hit you every time.
Like, jeez, man. That
Their
movie
little
just means so
robots
much to me.
are aimed
so.
to destroy you if you
Yeah.
ever jump to.
What was your
Tokyo.
biggest gripe?
What?
What was the biggest gripe? I just want to know. It was personal opinion.
The biggest gripe.
Yeah, was it?
Man, Spider.
Civil War at 9. That hurt.
Just I would
He
say
had it at 11.
the fact.
Or
I mean, and I'm
11.
He
just,
had it at 11.
yeah, Guardians of
No,
the Galaxy
I had it at
11
9.
was
You had it at
tough.
9?
9.
Civil
9.
War?
Guardians of the Galaxy
Oh,
was
well, I
tough.
thought you had
Civil War is very tough.
11 I had Guardians.
Oh, gotcha.
I feel like
And-
Spider-Man's.
and the 2 Guardians at 10, 11.
I can understand why you love Spider-Man.
Still,
but
though. Still.
It's too high.
What? So, if I didn't put Spider-Man that high and I put Civil
No.
War there, would it be better?
Oh,
It
yeah,
would have been
yeah.
fucking
But it wouldn't.
fantastic.
It would have been. It would have been. You know, 2 in line with us. So at least it was
Yeah.
a different.
Oh, but
Contrast.
I don't know.
like
I
that.
thought all our
That-
lists were pretty similar,
that's-
besides like the top 10.
Oh, none of us had Spider-Man that close up.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
They were
besides
that
that movie,
Oh, besides
it was-
second place.
like our top 5 is really similar. For
well,
most of
because
us.
they're great
besides
movies.
Man,
They're undoubtedly great movies.
Yeah.
This one made more money than they made like what the second to third most money ever.
Black
with the
Panther?
Avengers.
Which one?
No, Avengers.
Yeah,
Black Panther was behind the Avengers. I think. I don't think they passed.
I think
the
it's
Avengers.
surpassed
No, I think
it.
it
Actually,
surpassed
Did it surpass it?
Yeah.
Okay, well then it surpassed the Avengers. So these are like giant blockbusters. Of course, our top 5 are going to be the top 5. 'Cause
well,
they
you
literally
think of
are.
it as it's interesting how you guys think of it because you're a big cinephile.
Right. Like, I like
You're-
to put
you want
into...
to be a director. I think of it kind of like Dalek a little bit.
Yeah, just going in,
But
enjoying what you love the most.
I also see it as how, like I said, I ranked out like how significant it was to the universe and characters. And I feel like, yes, I get it. But being number 9 ain't that bad. It's good. It's good.
Should have been 6 at least. 6 I could live with.
I can agree, but to me, Winter Soldier had to be number 1. Like, it changed the whole scope of the MCU to me. That is how significant that movie is. But thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Almost to 15K. Make sure you leave a like, you comment, subscribe. Do the same thing for Nightface. Forget about Dan. Eric's pretty cool. But thank you guys so much. I'm going to do my best to process this, get this up now. Thanks for joining us on Golden God and Friends, episode 21. MCU Universe Ranking. Thank you guys so much.
Taking his pops.
I'm taking the
Your
microphone.
fella Strauss man, the GG.
I'm out of
Dwight. Dan.
Nightface.
I need help trying to
Eric?
blow this into my car.
We're outie.
We're outie.